It was like looking at my life.
Mm-hmm.
I identified with each and every character. I saw Jason in me. I saw Lyric in me.
That's what's up. It was weird to me because it's like, hold on. But you're the one that got him out here selling dope. You telling him don't trust him? You got him out here drinking, smoking, and selling dope.
Right.
But you telling him don't trust the other dude though.
Right. Because you know what? This is what he knew. That one comes with death.
That was
Facts. So like, they know what's up. You got to do something to get her to understand that you are different in that moment. And I can almost guarantee you, if you show up and be the man you're supposed to be, keep her out of survival, allow her to dwell in her femininity and not in her alpha, okay? You'll have everything you want. You'll have everything you want. She'll actually be your red.
What's up, y'all? My name is Chris Ellis, and this is the main ingredient with Chris Ellis. Today, we have the incredible Jonez Cain, and she's here to help me work out this Jason lyrics. This movie is an incredible movie. It meant a lot to me back in the day. It means a lot to her, but I want you guys to understand where she's coming from. So, thank you once again for coming, Jonez.
Thank you, Chris, for having me on the main ingredient.
I appreciate it. Always. You family, you always welcome.
Thank you.
Now and forever.
Forever and ever.
Now and forever. But before we get started, give us a little bit of your resume. I know you're an actress, but what else do you do in the entertainment industry?
You know what? My life in the entertainment industry has took a big turn. Whereas before, I was doing the acting, sometimes casting, things like that. But during the pandemic, there was a major pivot. And then also during the end of the pandemic, my husband was shot at work, as well as I had brain surgery last year. So I was losing my hearing at the time. And it was just so ironic that, again, in the middle of that pivot, I started writing a script. And after we completely finished the script, me and Amber Sandifer, then I woke up in the middle of the night and God told me to turn that script into a book. And I thought that was even crazier because when I had a meeting about the script with this wonderful lady who blessed me, that's so sad that I can't even remember her name at the second. Blame it on the brain surgery. Yeah. But she literally helped me develop the script. And I'll give her credit and everything, even though she doesn't want any of it. Like, she's going to get all of that, even though she doesn't know. But it literally turned me into a actual film writer and an actual author.
That's what I'm talking about.
Crazy. And then to pair myself with people who are already super professional at what they do, because I was like, God, why are you asking me to do this? I don't know. But I had to follow the guidance. And now I'm an author and a producer.
That's what's up.
So me and Let My Light Shine, Sarah Anders, I co-produced with her Holy Roller, which stars Novi Brown from Sisters on BET. I would never forget her name, but I promise you guys, it's little things that still happens to me with the brain surgery. But starring Novi Brown and Marcus Smith and Derek Hogan. There's a lot of cool people in it, but just blessed to do that literally out of being obedient, just saying yes. You know what I mean?
That's what's up.
And so I'm still doing the acting. I have 2 films coming out. One's called Bears on the Ship, which is like a play on snakes on the ship, on the plane, snakes on the plane. Yeah. And then I have another one coming out called Catfished.
Okay.
You can only imagine what that's about. And then I'm producing another project, which will have some heavy hitting names over in Napa coming up soon. So when I tell you, it just like boom, boom, boom. So I've had some of the hardest times of my life, even losing my sister, losing my grandmother last week. Literally, she's my strength to be here right now. Like, I just been through some really hard stuff. And I'm just really grateful for the blessing. So not to make that heck long, but it is a lot going on with me right now.
No, it's all good. Like I said, you fam. So we people need to know what you're going through and what you've been through to get to where you're at now. Because it's all strength. It all builds character, and it's what gets us, through life. by, just staying strong, not just for other people, but even for ourselves to prove that we can get through the storm. That's the case.
And I think that once we do that, then we're divinely connected to purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And because I even been doing public speaking. I did the Women's Expo, Turning Your Pain into Purpose. And then I also did something that was with Voyage Media, where it was on Spotify and Apple Music. So it's all about that mental health.
Yeah, mental health is everything. And I'm glad our people, Black people, we're finally understanding that and diving deep into making sure our minds are right so we can be good for our families.
Yes.
That's the main thing. Be good for our families so we can take care of them and give them the nourishment that they need mentally to grow into a beautiful family,
Yes. And which is one of the main reasons why, for some reason, Jason's lyrics is alive in me right now.
Yeah.
Like just everything I've been through in my life. So definitely.
Okay. All right. So let's get into it. Jason's lyric, 1994. It was a good year. I was like 20, 21, 22. It was a like a pivotal point in my life because at that age, your parents and your elders expect you to have everything together in 21, 22, but you're still trying to figure out who the hell you are. So it's like, and now that I have kids that are in their 20s, I kind of understand to take it slow with them. Don't try to force them to be too grown up too fast because life is different now than it was in 1994. Paying for, mortgages and all that other stuff, like expecting them to be able to do what we did at that time. It's like, it's almost impossible now. It's almost impossible. So 1994 was a good year for me, but Jason's lyric, I know you was probably a teenager.
I was. I think I was in the 9th grade. Yeah, I was in the 9th grade.
Yeah. But still, 9th grade, still mature enough to understand what you were seeing when you watched the movie. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. It was like looking at my life because at that point, yeah, we had just moved out of the hood.
Okay.
For me. Okay. So it was like I had just moved to Oakland and my mom had just bought her first house. So that was like coming out fresh for me. And it was like, oh, this is my life. Like I identify with each and every character. I saw Jason in me. I saw Lyric in me. Like, yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
And I saw who I could have been.
Right. Yeah.
In Josh.
So we have Jason's lyric directed by Doug McHenry, written by Bobby Smith Jr. It was produced by Gramercy Pictures, starring Allen Payne as Jason Alexander, Jada Pinkett as Lyric, Bokeem Woodbine as Joshua Alexander, Anthony Chris as Alonzo, that's Tretch, for anybody that doesn't know, Eddie Griffith as Rat, Forrest Whitaker as Mad Dog Alexander, Lisa Carson as Marty, Alonzo's girlfriend. The budget was $7 million and it made $20 million at the box office, which is not bad for a pretty much all Black movie in the 90s.
Facts.
About the 90s.
Right.
Before it was popular for everybody to go see a Black film. It made a profit, so I can see why a lot of these actors and actresses in this movie became even bigger because they turn in a profit. You turn a profit in Hollywood, they give you more chances.
Right. Facts.
They just give you more chances.
Facts.
So it's good that there's not one person in this movie that didn't become a mega star, didn't become some type of star. Like everybody became a star.
Yeah. In most movies, you'll see a few people who didn't, but you are absolutely right.
Every single person that had lines in this movie became somebody.
Yes, they
really
did.
Big, So we get to the opening scene. Jason is on a bus having memories, I would say nightmares about the night where Mad Dog got shot.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of hide who shot him.
Right.
But you can tell that it was personal and somebody in that house shot Mad Dog, but they really don't tell you. So it's kind of a bad memory and it keeps coming up in the movie. And, we'll get to that, why it keeps coming up. Then it transitions into like Joshua and Jason as little kids playing with Mad Dog in like in a field. It looks like a field, flowers and stuff. And there's an airplane that's sprinkling water on the flowers on the field and stuff like that. And it's a beautiful scene. It's actually a great scene.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's actually kind of dynamic to me because remember, he says that the old man, I think his name was Old Man Johnson, who used to let the plane go over and they felt like when the water would drop, it was like rain.
Yeah, they called him the Rainmaker.
Yes, the Rainmaker. And then where they are in this field with also beautiful flowers, it's just like their only moment for paradise.
Yes. Not only it was beautifully shot,
yes,
that whole scene is beautiful, but the fact that they showed that they did have good times with Mad Dog. He was not always a drunk and, he wasn't always all bad. And I think sometimes we have to bring that into reality with some of the people we see now that might be cracked out or whatever and stuff. They weren't always like that. So we always have to give them a little bit of grace.
Right.
Because there's a human in there.
Yes.
There's a human in there. So we got to always remember that, there's a lot of mad dogs running around in society and they weren't always like that.
No, not at all.
It only takes like one thing to turn somebody into a mad dog.
Exactly. Absolutely. And it's the dynamic of how we didn't deal with mental health back then.
That's right.
So if you couldn't get past it, like if you didn't have that God foundation to take that turn, what do? You self-medicate.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
There we go. And Josh, although he hated Mad Dog, it seemed like he just went right into it.
He went, yeah.
But how do you deal with that kind of trauma? I
know.
Thank God for mental health now.
I know. Yeah. So Mad Dog shows up at the house to visit the family. And Josh he ain't really messing with him.
Nah.
Jason, but you can tell Jason loves his father.
Yes.
I mean, loves his father. But also Jason understands why Josh is kind of like standoffish of him too. And it was a scene where, in this particular scene where Josh goes inside and he's behind the screen and it's such an evil look. Like he really hates Mad Dog. Yeah, he looking like him like, I really hate you.
I was
just like that.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was I don't know how they made that little kid look so intense, but he did an excellent job.
He did.
Because he really looked like there's an issue right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I know you my father, but I'm not feeling you at all coming around this house. And a lot of it could have had to do with he saw his mother go through a lot of trauma. So he just like, anytime you come around, my mom's is crying after you leave.
Right.
Like,
and he wasn't old enough to see the good side of him that Jason was able to capture.
He was still a little baby when they were in the fields and stuff. So he might not have remembered all those good times when Mad Dog was actually a regular guy. During this first visit, when Mad Dog shows up, he beats a guy with a cane right in front of him, right?
Right.
If Jason wouldn't have told him to stop, he would have just kept beating the dude.
Right. Facts. He tripped him. And I love Forrest Whitaker because of Fruitvale Station.
I love Forrest Whitaker.
And so it was a blessing to meet him and stuff like that. But he was always one of my favorites. I was like,
always.
This dude is a bomb. How he hooked his ankle with the cane. That's thought. Sorry. That's like talent above talent. He hooked that ankle and because he was really on that leg. Like you could tell he fully embraced that character to the point where even he knew to grab his ankle with that cane to bring him down and hit him with it. Nah,
he played that character to the fullest. Mad Dog to the fullest. We're going to get to some other scenes of Mad Dog, but he played that character to the fullest. And once again, like I said, that right after that, that's actually a scene where they show Josh looking through the door, which kind of lets you know, like, Josh might have some of Mad Dog in him. I mean, that is his father. We didn't find out till later how serious he got with Josh.
Right.
And, what he became as an adult. Maybe that's kind of why their mother really wasn't trying to get back with Mad Dog because she saw that might have eventually rubbed off on the boys. Like, because she might have really loved Mad Dog. Clearly, she had two of his kids.
Yeah.
But maybe it was one of those things where it's like, I want to let you back in the house, but you bring so much trauma into the house.
Yeah.
It might transfer into one of these kids.
Fact.
Which essentially it kind of did. Real talk. Joshua kind of adopted some of that stuff.
He literally became what he hated. And I think that where we come from, it actually happens a lot.
Oh, yes.
So it's like the son is, I hate my daddy. He wasn't there. He wasn't this. Or he treated my mom like this. And literally I watch person after person. it was that nice occasion where I see somebody like, I'm not going to be that. But literally they would turn into what they hate. And I wonder if that's because of the heavy judgment that is there. It's like, you need to know what it feels like to bring you to a place where either some people get destroyed, right? We saw that with Josh, but then you see some people who actually, pivot because of that experience.
Yeah,
and
they
like,
turn the
I'm
negative
not going to
into a
be like
positive,
that.
yeah.
And they forgive that person and they understand where they're coming from. And then they work on not ever being like that. But I think that if you hold that resentment in your heart, no matter what happens, you're going to turn into it.
That's true. I agree. So we get to another scene where Mad Dog is sitting in a super filthy motel room. And he's talking to himself and he's drinking. He's having a Mad Dog moment.
Yes.
But what I got out of that moment is he misses his family. It's not really like he just sitting there drunk for no reason. He really misses being around his boys, having his woman, and he's being ousted by, his ex-wife, and it hurts. And I've said it on a few podcast episodes prior to this, is like, when men hurt, it can come out in several different ways. Come out in anger, resentment, crying, shame, but it's never going to be a simple emotion for men. You never know what you're going to get when a man gets emotional.
Right.
You just don't know what you're going to get. So with Mad Dog, he turned to drinking and stuff like that. So in this particular scene, and this is a testament to how great of an actor Forrest Whitaker is, he's going through all the emotions.
Yes.
I mean, he crying, dancing in the mirror. Like, he is, it just shows just how good he actually is as an actor. I love this scene. As sad as the scene's supposed to be, I love the way he just portrays a man is just, he's losing it.
Yes.
He's losing it.
Ooh, man. Ooh, man.
What do you think about that scene?
Oh, I feel like it was real.
Yeah.
I felt like it was real. I wish I could read the script because I want to know how much of it was Forrest and how much of it was actually written.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you had to see that or experience it. There's no way that you can go through all those levels of emotion, like you said, the dancing, the crying, the anger. And that is all of the emotions that a person goes through when they've lost everything, when they have no way to get back control.
Right.
You do that when the foundation is in God. Like, I feel like even if your foundation is God, you start there and then it'd be like, wait, hold on. Something that I'm not handling this right. Hold on. Let me get in alignment. Let me call my people around me. It's something that helps you with that. Or let me get on the phone with my therapist. But he didn't have that. So we literally watched him go through all the stages, even grief. You've seen him go through everything.
He went through like 7 or 8 stages in that one scene.
And it was, man, when I tell you, it drove me all over the place. I was with him in every part of it. I don't know why, but when I watch film or read scripts or read anything, I don't know why I could just like feel it and see it.
Yeah. No, I feel the same way.
Man. And then I thought about, my dad wasn't in the war or anything, because that part kind of touched me too. Like, this man went out and put his life on the line for his country, and there was nobody to reach back and help him. So I do like what I see as far as them helping the veterans a little bit more, but that was kind of cold to me. But I also saw my biological father in that character, because I literally had those same instances like Josh and Jason did when they were younger, where I had to step in and defend my mom and help my mom against my dad. And it's just traumatizing. It's super hurtful. Fortunately for me, of course, I didn't have to like bring too much harm to him, but I did reach over and do what I need to do. Go, Mom! I did what I need to do.
Did what you had to do. Yeah.
And even watching my dad, he had so much pain. Like, before he passed away, fortunately, again, the grace of God, I learned about generational curses and being able to sit down and talk to him about the things that he experienced and he went through, to understand why he was in that mad dog place where he just could not rise from it. And then in the process of that, he lost me and my mom. That kept him in that same mad dog place. Like he like stopped drinking as much and things like that. He was a super calm spirit. And it seems like my younger brother had a little bit of that blessing, but I never ever got the chance to see my dad be that king that he was before, you know, they brought crack into our community.
Right.
And he was set up, you know, like good man working for the city, had all his stuff. I mean, booming. Like he, big White House on the, you know, White House on the hill with the white fence, Thunderbirds, cars. He had his own business. So not only did he work for the city too, he also had his own escorting service for funerals and stuff. He was the man. So when they came in and brought our communities down like that, broke him.
Which is part of their plan.
Yes, he could never be that man who he used to be. Yeah. So even as he started his healing process, I think just he was in that dark, mad dog place that still a great person, loving guy. He loved me, but never even wanted to be a part of my life for fear that he was going to ruin it.
He's going to mess it up,
Yeah, because he felt like he ruined my older brother and sister. Yeah. It gets deep because he even had a contact with my who people would say is my stepdad, but he loved me, raised me like my dad. So he even had a conversation with my dad, like, hey, I need you to take care of my daughter because I'm not going to be able to do it. And I think that what even gave them that beauty was their families actually grew up together. Even though my dad was way older than him, my dad and so my bio dad and my dad's dad were friends, and my aunties were best friends. So weird. But back to not being able to get past stuff, not having the ability or the access to mental health.
I'm glad now, you know, people have that access and have those programs that can kind of help you through tough times, because we all go through stuff, and it's hard processing it sometimes. If you're by yourself, you don't have anybody in your corner. It's hard.
Yeah, we cannot underestimate, because I think that sometimes even some of us look at people and instead of helping them, we're gossiping.
Yeah.
Instead of helping, we're talking about them. Like,
and we see the train, we see the train wreck coming, and we'll watch it wreck instead of helping them.
Exactly.
That's a hard thing.
Yeah. Like if you know, like I know what it's like to watch people go through stuff like that. It's always touched me real close. So like I always want to be a part of the solution, like helping other people.
Always be a part of the solution.
Even the book is all about mental health healing, how you can get hit and knocked to the ground. And with the right alignment, the right people around you, you can still ascend.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah.
So he's in a motel drinking and going through the emotions we've been talking about. He shows up at the house and basically kicks in the door. He's cursing. He's making a lot of noise. It feels like this is maybe a normal mad dog type of night. Like this is not the first time he's done something like this. Like he does this on the regular. And I want to say Jason says something in the narration like, you know, Mad Dog came through this night, but he said it so calmly, like this is something Mad Dog just does every once in a while. Maybe when he gets drunk. But he starts beating Gloria, their mom. And that's never a good thing. Even if you don't have any kids, but especially in front of kids, couples should never physically be fighting each other. So a gun goes off, and then you see, and then Jason wakes up from the dream, but they still never tell you who shot the gun, which is great writing and is great direction to never play your hand too early in the movie. You still don't know who shot Mad Dog. That was great. I'm glad they wrote it that way.
Yes.
Because it would have been a different movie if you'd have seen from the very beginning who actually did it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So
totally.
It's just great writing, great secrecy to, you know, hidden things going on. So Jason wakes up the next morning. He's going to prison to go pick up his brother, Josh. And Josh, we are to assume, has not led a legal life.
In fact, right?
I mean, I don't want to judge the brother, but we could tell he'd been through some stuff.
Right.
And this was not probably his first. Matter of fact, it wasn't, because when Jason picks him up, he said, I drove here 4 times.
Right.
And, 4 different times.
Yeah. Is it going to be different this time?
It's going to be different. So he's been in and out of prison for whatever. So, but what I love about this movie is they always show the love that Jason has for Josh. No matter how no matter how much trouble you get into, I got you. I'm never gonna give up on you. And that's really a love you only see out of parents to children and siblings. You don't see too many outside of siblings and parents who will love you no matter how bad it gets.
Right. Facts.
Like, you got to think about it, because mothers in general will never give up on their kids. So the world knows that.
Yeah.
Mothers and fathers in general will never give up on their kids. But usually you see that in siblings too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You normally see that in siblings, where either the little brother or the big brother will always protect each other, no matter what.
No matter what. No matter what.
No matter what, So it's good that they showed that Jason had his back, and Jason didn't really, even though he tried to school him, like, you should be doing this, he never judged him. He always just met him where he was at.
Exactly.
He never judged him.
I go through a dynamic similarly, not that bad, but with one of my sisters.
Okay.
And then we're going to get to that, but I have a brother that's exactly like how Tretch was.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Like, he even do
Not
me
Alonzo.
like how he do lyric. Like,
No.
I'm going to tell you, because he be like, yeah, Hollywood. I be like, if you don't stop, like, leave me alone. But my sister, like, man, I swear I was always running down the street to go whoop somebody, because I'm thinking people bothering her because she lighter than me. She had like real finer hair, longer hair. And so I was always like protecting her until one day, because she's in the, she's made her choices. And but no matter what, like you said, I got her back.
No matter what.
You gonna run up on her, you're gonna have to see me. But I also had to get like Jason, where it was like, oh, wait a minute, you started this? Wait, you got me running down here, running up on these girls, and you started it? Okay, hold up. Like, I got to make some changes, but I still had a lot of the hood in me for a long time. And I feel like it's still beautiful parts of it in me. Like, my loyalty, my character. There's certain things that we get from the hood that you can't really get from nowhere.
You right about that.
And
you right about that.
I had that dynamic, but I'm my sister's keeper. And even though just like that, I'm telling her, like, you got to stop this. But at the end of the day, she knows she could call me for anything. Her kids can depend on me.
No matter what.
I might not run out in the street with you to save you, no more, because I can't. Because if I do, then what happened, honestly, was that I was blessed with a really good, like, Fortune 500 job early. So at the age of 17, I was working for, I don't know if I could say that on here, but I was working for Siemens.
Okay.
And then after they kind of like taught me all the foundation of like engineering, like testing line stuff. So that's how I got into AT&T. Well, back then it was Pac-Bell, SBC, AT&T. So I started there when I was 18, doing like almost like an entry-level engineer job. And I had something to lose after a while. You get what I'm saying? Like, I was making a lot of money for my age coming from where I was coming from.
18?
I was blessed by God. Come on. And even at the job, I almost got in trouble because it was a girl who was taunting me. And I was like, hold on, like, because I know how to go there if I need to, And this lady, Miss Berta, to this day, we are still friends. But to this day, she was an older woman working in the job. And again, I'm an 18-year-old. I ain't even really supposed to be there.
Yeah.
I'm working with all these adults with degrees and stuff. And so she pulled me to the side. She said, I don't never want to see you acting like that again. Them people will be so happy to get you up out of here. She said, you don't never let nobody do that to you. You hold your composure. You got something to lose. And I tell you, she was so strict on me. And it was a part of me that wanted to rebel against it, but I knew she was doing it out of love. And that was the day I knew I couldn't chase after family members and be that even for my sister. And for her, I think a part of her felt like I was not there for her, if that makes sense. I'm there for you for everything else you need, though, but I'm not going to run in the streets behind you and be fighting people and getting myself in trouble. Like, I'll lose everything for the type of companies that I was working with. So that I didn't have God in my life like that yet, but that was what made me be like, no, but my sister, I'm ride or die.
I'm the same way with like the N-word, when you hear another race in anger call you as a black person the N-word. I don't let it emotionally affect me no more. You're not going to affect my emotions.
Right.
Now, that don't mean you ain't going to be no get back.
Right.
But I'm not going to let you be the person that puts me in jail because you called me something. That ain't going to happen. Because I got a wife and kids to feed and grandkids.
That is why so when that guy shot my husband, he was at work. My husband was at work and that happened to him. And he was calling my husband the N-word and all of that. But when my husband, because it's all on camera. So my husband was thinking in the back of my mind, in the back of his mind was, I got to feed my family and I need to protect. So he was like, I'm not finna be moved over the chessboard like this.
Nah. Because,
you.
People know that's a triggering word for Black people.
Yes.
And they know just by saying it, they're going to catch a beat down, but you're going to be the one going to jail.
Exactly.
And it ends everything, especially if you're the breadwinner of your family. You cannot let somebody swing your emotions with the word. And I'm not saying it happens a lot, but the last time it happened, I actually laughed in the person's face.
Right.
And it confused them.
Right.
I just started laughing hilariously because I'm like, you don't know what I could do to you.
Right.
But I'm not going to let you bring me down to that level. I just laughed at him.
Yes.
And he didn't say nothing else. He was confused.
And he was mad. I know he was mad. Like, you mean to tell me I didn't get the reaction I wanted?
He wanted a reaction. He did not get it because I got a family to feed.
Speaking of emotional intelligence, see, I told you I forgot something. So I also work with an amazing company, IYCU, Independently You, Collectively Us, where we literally teach emotional intelligence to the youth. The program is structured towards children of color, mainly African-American children. But we do transformative social emotional intelligence where we're teaching them exactly how to deal with all that, right? Because sometimes even when we got it good, it's usually those type of things that make us descend instead of ascend. And it makes us lose opportunities, everything. And so, we're in the schools. So we're in the schools making changes, doing some beautiful things. And they loved us so much. Thank you, IYCU, for bringing me on board. They loved us so much that even now we have 2 hours in the schools. And they have added us into one of the school districts midday as a part of regular curriculum because they like the effects that the program has
positive
held.
Effect.
Yes.
That's great.
Created by men of color, Anthony Jackson and Eric Bryant, who are also, them, actually. So they said, oh, you know Chris. And then it was so crazy because I'm like, wait a minute, like, anyway,
we all connect. We all family. That's what I'm saying.
Like, I was like, wait, like, you know him? Like, I'm like, oh man, that's so crazy. So that's a beautiful thing that I've been blessed to be a part of. And
for sure.
I'm really excited because some of our kids also get spiritually murdered in school, especially when they are in schools where there's not a lot of minorities. Maybe it's predominantly white or whatever it may be. And, they're not being understood. And then a lot of them are shutting down. Either they turn aggressive or they're shutting down, but they're shutting down because they're not being treated with certain respect. The teachers there are not understanding their culture. So they also don't know how to speak to them. You know what I mean? Like,
that's deep.
It's really deep because I'll give a prime example. One of my coworkers over, I won't say the school just for protection of that, but one of my coworkers who I work with hand in hand, she really helped me understand some of the kids who were being classified as trouble, but they're super smart. The test scores aren't matching with what's being said. And it was so funny. I come right in 2 weeks because of her prepping me. I come in 2 weeks, make a breakthrough with kids who won't even talk to other staff, and they've been there for years. You know what I mean? And so it's just genuine, authentic, the love to help the community. So not to go too deep off into emotional intelligence, but that is another thing that I'm doing to be a part of helping my community.
That's great to hear, Jonez. That's great to hear.
Thank you, sir.
So we get to a point in the movie now where Jason picked up Joshua. They met with some friends.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, Jason must have had to go to work. Joshua's went hanging out with his friends, which is Eddie Griffith, who plays the character of Rat, and I forgot the other guy, but it's 2 guys he's been hanging with.
Yeah.
And they bring him home late.
Yes.
The problem with that is his mother had a surprise party for him.
And he's drunk.
And he's pissy drunk. super drunk.
Yeah. Super
To
drunk.
where he's just totally embarrassing his mother. Like she damn near want to break down, in tears because of how embarrassed she is that her son, first day home, comes in the house, everybody ready to give him love and support.
Encouragement.
And he's pissy drunk. He puts his hand in the cake, almost knocks the cake out of her hand. And them same friends who brought him over said, "Oh, sorry, Miss Alexander.
Yeah.
Y'all brought him here like this."
Now,
what do you mean?
Now, you know what?
You brought him here
a long time ago, I used to watch that like, what? That's what friends do for you. But you know what I peeped?
What?
Is that nobody else was drunk but him. Right?
Nobody.
Not one of them.
You see, yeah.
So,
see.
So my opinion on that changed because I'm like, okay, your boys take you out. I would have blamed them if they were drunk too. But Jason wasn't drunk.
Jason was not.
Jason wasn't drunk. None of them were drunk. He was the only one. And I'm almost positive because you see other scenes that they were like, man, don't get drunk. I'm sure they were probably telling them, but he wanted to do what he wanted to do.
So you think that was a Josh decision to get drunk all day and come home like that? Not necessarily they made him get drunk.
It was a Josh decision.
Okay.
But I feel like this. When you're a real friend and you know what your friend is struggling with, you don't bring them into the environment to where they could possibly get there, right? Yeah. So if I know my girl is trying to quit drinking, I'm not finna take you to the bar.
No, and not at all.
I'm not finna say, girl, come over here. And I'm going to say, girl, come over. I made some mocktails for us. We going to pretend like we drinking. It might even taste like drinking, but we going to have some natural, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's that part. But I could have gathered that they didn't even know how to be that.
Yeah, they didn't. You can tell they didn't. They weren't really good friends to him.
No, because then remember, as soon as he come out, Eddie Griffith's character is the one who put him back on with fronting them some product.
Yeah.
So
it's like they weren't good friends at all.
They were not good friends.
Which is weird to me because it seemed like Jason would have checked him. Right. Like every time he around y'all two fools, he go back to jail. Don't let me catch him out here doing what y'all doing or it's going to be me and y'all.
Exactly.
And Jason never really checked them about putting Josh in harm's way like that.
Exactly. Exactly. And that was me. I was doing that. Like different dudes who would be trying to talk to look, don't talk. My sister's younger than me. She's 6 years younger than me. You're the same age as me. You don't have no business talking to her. You gonna see me. So I was running people off. I remember times where I would be, my parents be on vacation. I'd come down the street with the bat in case anybody say something to me. Come home. And then I dare y'all to say something. It's time for her to come home.
Yeah, that was
you know? Yeah. Like, because you love your, like you said, a parent or a sibling is the only one that's going to go that far for you. But once you realize that you can't keep going and it's going to actually make you crash, then you have to back up. Yeah. But still, you still love, you still don't talk mess. You still, when I talk to my sister, she's like one of the smartest people I know, genius level. And that could be why that's happening because like she was the type who was at high school and middle school.
Okay.
Smart. So it's like whenever she make the decision to whatever it is that she's fearless, she's also hella fearless, which could be why. So it's like if it's a little misdirected. Yeah. And
at this party, when Josh comes home like that, Jason doesn't panic. Mm-mm. He puts him in bed, takes care of him like a parent would.
Yep.
And when he comes back out, he can tell his mother is distraught and it really hurt his mother's feelings. And he does something that's great. He said, dance with your son. That was a beautiful scene. Because he could have just left his mom like that and dealt with Joshua. He like, no, I'm going to put him because he already knocked out. He drunk. Said, no, I'm going to make sure my mother have a good time. So he told everybody, come on, y'all, it's a party. We still gonna party no matter what's going on. And he danced with her and you saw this big old smile on her face. Yeah. She still remembered she had Jason.
Yes, I still got you, son.
I still got you. I still got my bright light right here to always shine positivity on me. And I'm glad they always showed that part in the movie. Is like, even though Joshua's putting her through hell, like literally through hell, she never took that out on Jason. She always understood that Jason ain't Joshua.
Oh, I love that.
She never held that against Jason. And quiet as kept, she really wanted to show love and positivity to Josh, but he just kept doing all this negative stuff.
Yes.
She even got him a job.
Got him a job.
Like,
everything.
She tried to help him.
And always believed in him every time because she had to believe in him to bring her to her job.
Every single time she believed in her son, but he just kept letting her down.
Every time.
And I do know, I do know a lot of friends I grew up with that they did that to their parents. I saw them do that to their parents.
Me too.
Time after time, just letting them down. Stealing their cars, stealing the keys, stealing cars. Just
credit cards.
And the parents are just like, I don't know why he's acting like. They had no idea that why their child was acting like this.
Right.
And Gloria, in this movie, you can tell like her mind is mixed up of like, how do I end up with Jason? And Joshua was so different. Why are y'all like night and day? She even says in the movie, you two are like night and day.
Yeah. And I know what the night and day is.
And you know, yeah.
The night and day is he chose to cope with alcohol and drugs and took his anger in the street. And the other one decided, I'm going to take my mind off it. I'm going to build airplanes. I'm going to go out to that field, clear my mind. I'm going to listen to my mama's prayers. I'm going to try to make her, like he made different choices. He clearly somehow was able to have a different set of tools.
Yeah, yeah. Jason goes to work and his manager says that he has a assistant manager's job available for him in Dallas. Jason initially wanted the job because he mentioned it a couple of times that it was a possibility. But when Josh came home, it was more or less like, my family needs me.
Right.
So his manager kind of got on him. Like, every time your brother come home, you start effing up. Every single time.
Right.
So the manager has seen Jason do this time and time again, which is not go for his dreams to chase after his brother in the streets and doing all this damage. And once again, I've seen so many of my friends with siblings do this.
Yes.
They won't move to another city to go get a better. They won't do none of this stuff because they're afraid that their sibling will kill somebody or end up getting killed.
And it's like the protection of mom too.
And the protection of he said, my mama need me.
Yeah. Like it's serious.
But what he really meant was my mama need me to help her with Josh.
Right.
That's what he really meant.
Yeah. Yeah. Because he's like, Josh gonna end up killing my mama.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Josh is a mini version of Mad Dog. I can't leave him around my mother because we know what would have happened.
Yes.
If we would have not been there to help my mother with Mad Dog. So Jason comes home and his mother is sitting on the porch and she's not crying, but you can tell she's sad. And she says that 7 years of being a cashier, her tills never came up short. And I guess they found out that Josh had stole $10 out the till. And you can say it's only $10, but it's the principle.
Right. You took
all
her
about
whole
the principle.
career
You
for
took
$10.
It all. Yeah. Because I remember when this first came out, a lot of people was making jokes like, man, it's only $10. But they wasn't understanding the principle behind it. Yeah. You're my son.
Yeah.
You don't have to do this.
Right.
You got a brother with a job. I got a job. We can give you $10.
Right.
Like you literally went to work and stole money from me.
Yeah.
So it was just, it affected her. It affected her a lot. She was just sitting there like, I don't know what. And
there's nothing else I could do.
Yeah. She was like, if it wasn't for you, he wouldn't even be here. Like you're the only reason why he's still allowed to come in his house. Once again, showing how much Jason meant to Josh.
Yeah.
To where the mother only gave Josh that much grace because of Jason.
Wow.
Because I can imagine Jason having conversations with his mother saying, you can't put my brother on the street, Mom. You can't. I'm pretty sure she wanted to.
He was probably scared he was going to die.
Yeah.
I know what that is. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they had conversations where she said, I'm getting ready to put your brother on the street.
Yeah. And
he was like, Mom, you can't do that. It ain't his fault. Mad Dog this, Mad Dog that. Even though we never saw that scene, I kind of feel like that's something that's a conversation that really could have been had by Jason and his mom to where Jason probably had to break down to her like, Josh ain't the way he is
for nothing. Right.
No, Mad Dog got a lot to do with why Josh is the way he is.
Right.
So we gotta give him some love. We gotta keep loving him, keep our arms around him.
That's what I do with my older brother and my older sister.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they have the different mom.
Okay.
And I feel like
it's not their fault.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's not.
It's really not. And I do get that you're an adult. Now you got to make the choices, because that's what I did. Like, I'm going to try to make different choices. I'm going to unpack all this stuff. It's hard work though. People underestimate the hard work that it is. And just for them, it's just that I always had continuous grace. So I could get that.
Yeah.
I could totally get that.
Yeah. You got to have that. Jason trying to find Josh, finds him in a bar, getting drunk. He runs up, he goes in the bar. Teddy, that's the other guy's name. Teddy,
okay.
Teddy is playing pool.
Sorry, Teddy.
Yeah. Sorry, Teddy.
Sorry.
Teddy's playing pool and he said, Teddy, where's? And he just points. And
normal routine.
He at the table, drinking, looking in the mirror, doing whatever he's doing. And Jason grabs Josh, pulls him outside, starts yelling at him, giving him that big brother toughness. Like, dude, you can't be out here doing this, blah, blah, blah. Breaks his bottle, takes his bottle and breaks it. Josh says, I'm going to go back in and get another one. No, he's like, no, the hell you ain't.
Right.
So they have a real situation to where Jason has to physically sit him down. You messing up. You did this to mama. We not having this no more. You need to get your life together, blah, blah, blah. And Josh is feeling like Jason is trying to be his dad. So he says something to the fact of, you ain't my daddy? Oh, yeah, I ain't got a daddy no more.
Wow.
That was cold.
That was so cold. That was cold.
That was cold. Josh did that to him.
Man, because he had, I think that people didn't, of course they realize it, but Jason had PTSD too.
Oh, yeah.
He's waking up with the nightmares. I had to go through that with my husband after he was shot. Waking up with the nightmares. He had all the same things. He just made different choices.
Jason had the same emotion. Yeah, that was cruel. That was very cruel.
That was cruel.
He said, I don't even have a daddy no more. It's like, that was wrong for him to say that. That was wrong for him to say that. And you want to think it was the alcohol, but like they say, drunks tell the truth.
What is a drunk
and a kid
talks from a sober mind or something like that?
Yeah,
something
they say drunks and kids tell the honest truth.
The honest truth, boy.
You're going to get everything out of both of those. Woo. So that's why always, when somebody's saying something, how they feel about me when they're intoxicated, I listen.
Yeah.
Because this is how you really feel about me.
Yeah. Absolutely.
When you're sober, you're holding back how you really feel. When you're drunk, it's no filter.
Right.
The filter gets released.
Right.
So I pay close attention. And I'm also mindful that when I'm drinking and I get angry over something, somebody pissed me off, maybe I'm at a club or whatever and stuff, and it might be somebody I know, maybe a friend, maybe somebody from the family. One thing I can't give myself credit for, I'm mindful of what I say to them because I know they're listening too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I don't say something I can't take back.
Right. And that's what my brother does all the time.
Oh. Dang, she said all the time. I'm very mindful that words hurt.
They do. They do. And it don't even matter when it is. I remember after I had brain surgery, he called me. I'm in the hospital. He
let you have it.
No, it wasn't. He just mean sometimes. When he be like, he just, like I said, like how he like, yeah, Lyric, see if she wear them pants so tight, if she let the little cootie cat breathe. Like my brother is like, just like Alonzo. Yeah. So with him, I'm hearing, yeah, Miss Hollywood. Yeah, that kind of stuff. And it's just like, I just
kind of bothers you a little bit.
But I'm just like Jason in the sense of where I'm just like, this is how he is. I get it. Sometimes I have to, you know how Jason had to school him sometimes. So sometimes I give him a righteous read. That's what I call him. I'll give him a righteous read every now and then. But for the most part, it's just like grace because he never had the tools to come out of it. He didn't have the mom I had. My dad was gone. Who was there to look after him, to push him in the right direction? He raised himself.
That's tough.
And the streets raised him on top of that too. So that's why I just try to have grace. Like I talked to him the other day about my grandma's funeral because it's not his grandma, but my grandma was so loving. She took care of everybody. So everybody has a connection to her, but it was just like, hey, you all right? Like, that's kind of, yeah. Man, but I know my job is to just still love him.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it's from a distance, but it's always going to be like that.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So Jason, and this is my bad. I jumped ahead on the boss yelling at him. So we get to the point to where the boss is actually this is the scene where the boss is actually yelling at Jason because he told him that he's probably not going to take the Dallas job because my mama need my help.
Yeah,
that's exactly
my
what
mama need me.
My mama need me. and the manager already knows what this is. It's Josh. It ain't got nothing to do with your mama. Your mama's a stand-up solid woman.
Right.
You scared about what Josh might do to your mama.
Right.
So
Facts.
he's made himself over the years the buffer in between the two. When if Josh would just be a stand-up dude, he wouldn't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? So, but what's weird is that it takes you to where you really understand 1994, the prices, because he said the job in Dallas paid $22,000 a year.
I swear every time. I think it was 20 too. I think you added 2.
Did I add 2?
I think you added 2.
I was like, oh, he said move to another city
right.
for 20 grand a year.
Yeah, no.
I said that's 1994 for real.
Yeah, for real. Like what?
He said, a job paying this much is paying $20,000 a year.
Yeah, he said it like he said $300,000 a year.
Oh, that was funny.
The times have changed.
I said 1994, boy.
boy, oh boy.
But still, him not being married, not having any kids, that still might have been a good move
back
for
then,
for Jason in 1994, where he could have became the manager eventually, maybe own a store. I think that's
was an assistant manager position.
It was an assistant manager. Yeah. So I think what his manager was trying to tell him was like, there's growth.
Yes.
You could become the $100,000 a year person if you just go and give yourself a chance. But he was in that mode of, I gotta be here for my mama. Gotta be here to protect Josh from himself, really. Because ain't nobody messing with Josh. Josh is hurting himself.
I'm telling you, like even my husband, like I had to like be a major part of keeping him grounded, like, stay in school, go to, like he was an amazing athlete, go to college. I mean, he always wanted to do that because he wanted to go to the NFL, but just meaning being a part of that main ingredient that was pushing him in that direction. No, you're not selling no drugs. That's not what we're doing. So me pulling him from people who's literally leading him in that direction. And it's like, no.
That's tough when you see people pulling them in the wrong direction. Man. They don't have no remorse.
None.
They pull them right into hell with them.
Right on into hell with them.
They like, come on
right
in.
on. But I fought for that. know, I fought for that. We broke up for that. Like, no. It ain't happening. It ain't happening. Well, you got to think of where I come from. Come from the hood. And my family was, I don't know if you heard about it, but it was all over the news when they had that big crackdown with all the people in San Francisco, had all them faces of that big federal.
I remember that.
Yeah, my uncles was up there on their screen. You know what I'm saying? So I know what that's like. Getting your house raided, being held, I wasn't there, but family members being held at gunpoint, my uncle being kidnapped, locked in a trunk. You know, fortunately he got out, but 10 years later, that same person killing him. So when you have those kind of experiences, either you're going to fall into it and be that, or you're like, absolutely not. And like I told him, no, I love you. And if we going to be together, it ain't going to be that. So he even tried doing things behind my back. I catch one of it. Nope, it's over. It is over because I loved him that much. Like, I love you that much to shut it down to save your life. Factual.
You got to do that sometimes. After Jason's boss yells at him, Lyric walks in. So this is the first introduction of Jada Pinkett's character, Lyric. She walks in to get a TV. She's in her brother Alonzo's truck, and she's really just coming there and handle her business and leave.
Right.
Jason is seeing the finest woman he's ever seen in his life.
Right.
He don't even really know how to act when he sees her walking into his door. He's just like, his mouth is wide open. He's what they say, love at first sight. It basically becomes love at first sight. I want to say it wasn't reciprocated. I don't think she felt that way when she first saw him. At least I didn't see it. You think so?
I thought she thought he was cute.
Oh, okay.
I thought that because he didn't see her yet. I think that the moment that he took the time to explain to the little boy when he got down on his knees. So not only did you talk to him, you came down to his size.
Yeah.
You showed like it was something different. So that's why she stood there behind him. And then every time he was talking to her, if you look, she had this little grin. Like,
she did have you right.
So she was feeling it, but coming where we coming from, it's like, I don't know who you are exactly yet. Like, you cute and everything. Yeah, you nice talking to the kid, but I don't know you like that. You cute, but I done had too many. You know what? Never mind. Why am I? That's how I felt. Why am I even thinking this?
Right. You know what? And it's a shame because of so many bad relationships and men doing women wrong that they get in defensive mode first. Even if they run into a good guy, they can't really let him in because there's been so many bad guys that's damaged her defenses. So, that's part of the reason why now it's more or less like they said now we have the most men that are not in relationships now. And when they asked a lot of men, they say because women are too mean now. They're just a lot meaner. No, I don't want your number. No, I don't want it. And then women don't even have boyfriends. They just don't want to deal with nobody.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
They just don't want to deal with anybody.
Yeah.
And over time, it makes young men feel like it's not even worth trying. Mm-hmm. And that's where we're at right now, where I talk to a lot of young men now, and a lot of them I talk to, they don't have girlfriends. And the first thing they say is, they ain't got the time for me.
You know what? This is what I say to that, right? Because listen, we just tired of people going to jail and burying you.
I get it.
That's a big part of it. You know what I'm saying? And then also our lives be in jeopardy. So I'm married, thank God, but I had to pull mine out of that. So when I think of, the other women, it's not that, listen, fellas, if you really want that girl who is saying, no, I don't want you, she's coming off mean, she has had to live in survival. She has had to be an alpha, okay? So if you want that alpha to drop, first of all, you're going to have to be persistent. You're going to have to probably get at her a few more times. And if it's somebody who you think you only going to see that one time, you better pull out every ounce of chivalry you got. You got to do something to get her to understand that you are different in that moment. And I can almost guarantee you, if you show up and be the man you're supposed to be, keep her out of survival, allow her to dwell in her femininity and not in her alpha, okay? You'll have everything you want. You'll have everything you want. She'll actually be your rib. What's that, baby boy? Like, she'll actually be, when he said, my rib. Like, she'll actually be that for you. She'll really be your helper mate. But again,
Will she be submissive?
She will be submissive.
Okay.
I am submissive. I am very submissive. Most people don't think that. Like when I told you, I make my husband lunch for work. Mm-hmm. I iron his clothes for work. I give him facials. Like, I am total. And then when he speaks, I'm quiet. Like, not in the sense of where I don't have my voice. No. But I'm okay with being led. If you could show me that you could be a leader and I can trust you, I don't need to talk over you. I don't need to disrespect you. I don't need to do any of that if you are being who you need to be. So that's why I say you be who you need to be once you get her. But as far as how to get her, you be persistent if you're going to see her all the time. You show her that you care. If you see her walking with a specific Starbucks every day at lunchtime, you be the one who go get it for her before her lunch. You have to be able to show women. And if you're not willing to just put forth some extra effort to court a woman, then you're not of her caliber anyway, is how I see that. You know what I'm saying?
No,
so that's to my fellas who see that, because that's what happened with me and my husband. So we did go to elementary together. We did not go to high school together, but for some reason, divine intervention, we kept running into each other at a bus stop, at a football game, at a dance. But he decided he was going to be persistent in his pursuance of me, even though our families knew each other and we didn't even know that. So my uncle and his father was best friends, but we never met through that. My mother and his auntie were friends growing up. We didn't know that. We never met through that. Yeah, so
that's crazy.
He actually just stayed persistent. And even when I told him no that day to getting my number, because again, I don't want to be going through this with people. I'd rather just focus on my purpose, get through school, because I had plans. I'm going to college. I'm not finna live this life.
You had a purpose.
I had plans. So here you come trying to interrupt my plans is how it looks.
Right.
But he was super persistent. He did not give up. Even that night, he did not give up. He stood around me. He danced with me. He brought chivalry to the equation. He brought me flowers all the time. He would come watch my performances at cheerleader. We started at 15.
Oh,
so
very young.
Even back then I was 15. I'm like, no. So imagine if she'd been saying no since she was 15. You got to really break through them walls. And that's it. That's all I got to say. You can do it and we are ready for it, but you got to show up.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Yes.
Because like I said, this Lyric's character, you can tell that she has a definite defense wall.
Yes.
Something has happened to her to where she just like you said, she might see him as cute, but it ends right there.
Yes. It stops there, boo. She
don't want to have nothing else to do with him. So Jason loads up the TV in her truck and he basically hollers at her. And she says, do you need anything else? Because I got to get my brother back his truck. Like, she's really letting him know, like, I got to go.
Yeah.
She ain't really, you can call it attitude, you can call it sassiness, but basically, like you said, being through so much as a woman, you just put up that thing. I don't want to deal with all this drama.
I call it tough girl flirting.
Tough girl. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
But right.
She had it in this movie.
Yes. Tough girl flirt. It's like,
Lord, she had it in this movie.
Like you said, but no. But dang though. Get that little grin every now and then, but I know better. We ain't going there.
She had it in this movie. And I remember when I first saw it, I'm 21, 22. I felt a certain type of way about Lyric. I'm just like, why she being so hard on her brother?
Yeah.
He's a good dude.
That was me.
I felt a certain type of way about her character because I'm like, he reminds me of me. We just try to get through life the right way.
Yeah.
And we getting all this extra negativity on that side when I'm just trying to get to you.
Yes. And we trying to break you free from that life because we see, like, first of all, when these girls, when we actually like look at you and if we like date you a little bit, it's because we saw such a potential in you. We see a character, we see a different integrity that's in you that's not in the other one. So that's why we be trying initially.
Okay. Okay.
Like you got, like I said, you show something.
So now we get to the point where Josh is hanging out with Rat and Teddy. And they're talking to, I forgot his name, Lorenz Tate, little brother.
Yes. What is his name? Because he on the
Sorry, Lorenz Tate, we forgot your brother's name.
So
little
sorry.
Dude.
Mr. Tate, the other Mr. Tate.
Mr. Tate, the other Mr. Tate.
Because I watch all the shows he in.
I know. Movies. So his character, I guess, was in prison with Josh. And they were cellmates or whatever. So he was trying to put him onto another gig, stealing cars and whatnot.
That's right.
He saw Josh out there just like selling dope. Like, that's, that ain't really a gig. I'm gonna put you on a real gig. But the way he approached Josh with it, it was kind of a slap in the face. So Josh didn't take it serious. He's like, I already got a gig. You see I'm out here doing my thing with my boys. I'm like, you ain't doing nothing out here with these dudes. So yeah, we get to a point to where Joshua is hanging with Teddy and Rat. Lorenz Tate's, I want to say that's his younger brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's his younger brother because it's three of them. It's three of them. But those two kind of look alike. The other one doesn't look like either the other two.
I like bro, but I just want to work with Lorenz Tate so bad. Like, I have wanted to work with him since I watched The Inkwell.
The Inkwell was a great movie.
Because for me, it was like that dynamic to The Inkwell.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, he's a genius. I need to work with him. I need to know him.
Yeah, that's huge. So he gets an offer. He gets an offer from the guy who's playing his friend out of prison. And he wants to put him on to stealing cars, chop shop stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And Josh is not taking it serious. He like, I already got a gig. I'm out here grinding with Teddy and Rat. And I'm good. Because really, Josh only wants to just make enough to drink a beer.
Right.
Like,
dang.
He don't have a lot of high goals in his life at this point. He just, as long as he makes enough money to drink a beer and do whatever he needs to do. I know at one point in time they were like in the club, the girls was dancing, so maybe go to a strip club or something. He just needs simple stuff at this point.
Right.
But his buddy from prison is trying to put him on get some real money, some chop shop money. So at this point in time, Jason walks up and the buddy from prison walks off, and Rat, which is Eddie Griffith, says, I don't trust that dude. He just has a look about him like he don't trust him. And it was weird to me because it's like, hold on, but you're the one that got him out here selling dope. You tell him don't trust him? You got him out here drinking, smoking, and selling dope. Right. But you telling him don't trust the other dude, though. Right.
Because you know what? This is what he knew. That one comes with death.
That one.
Facts. So, like, they know what's up. Like,
they know what's up.
Sure.
So, when Jason pulls up, Rat, Eddie Griffith's character, says, man, let's go get something to eat. I'm starving like an Ethiopian or something like that. So they jump in his truck and they go to the soul food spot. Yeah. And this is what I want to ask you. How it seemed like they went in a very small town. Mm-hmm. How hasn't Jason ever ran into Lyric? I'm confused on that part because the way that Rat said, let's go get some soul food, the way they pulled up like it was a normal spot. Right. You never seen Lyric in that spot?
Factual.
That was kind of, that's always had me feeling a certain type of way. Like,
I took it like this because if you think about it, Josh didn't know her brother either.
True.
So I'm thinking different circles, maybe different turfs that small town. Could be different because you know how the turfs be, like they'll stay in their one little bubble. Right. And the only reason why, so think about this. I lived in West Point and you had Big Block, right? Do you know how close that is?
I know how close it is.
It is very close.
But they know each other though, right?
Not everybody. So say for instance, me, my husband and me, we was right here. We didn't, and you didn't, we bumped into each other in elementary, but that wasn't even by here. That was like all the way over somewhere else where we went to elementary together. Right. And all those years, we played at the same park sometimes and didn't even run into each other. I think I may have seen him once. And I was like, he looked familiar. I think I know him from elementary school. We had that one little interaction, but never seen him again until we were 15 years old, bumping into each other at a bus stop, a high school, and a dance. So all those years, we never even seen each other. And my uncle and his dad was best friends.
That's crazy.
See, so it can happen. It can.
I mean, I guess it could. It could happen. But this is why I'm glad you brought up your sibling, your brother, who you said is like Alonzo. Yeah. Because even now, as a 50-plus-year-old man, why did it seem like Alonzo wanted his sister to be a hoe, basically? Like, you're chastising your sister for not giving up any sex?
His character, he would have chastised her no matter what.
Okay.
So either I'm going to chastise you because you out here running around, or I'm going to chastise you because you think you're too high and mighty. It's one or the other. You're gonna
so he was going to pick something.
No matter what.
Okay, because I'm just like, does he want his sister to be in the streets? He want her to be for the streets? She trying to kind of keep to herself.
Yeah.
That's not good enough for Alonzo.
No. Because he needs somebody to talk mess to.
He needs somebody. And I'm going to address the elephant in the room when it comes to Alonzo. I like Tretch as an actor. He does not have a Southern accent. That I wasn't falling for the Southern accent Tretch. I was not going for that.
You know what? I didn't even peep.
Think about it. If you watch it again, just listen to the dialogue and how he speaks.
Did he try?
He didn't even try.
Okay, that's what I was going to say.
He was talking like normal Tretch. That's why I was like, I understand in movies sometimes you try to put somebody because at the time, Naughty by Nature was on fire. Yeah. So I get why they put Tretch in there. OPP and all them songs are huge hits back then. So I get it. But it seemed like they would have had a dialect coach like they would have nowadays.
But even now, I see sometimes in my my scripts or the casting breakdowns, a lot of times it'd be like if your accent isn't super solid, like meaning if you didn't grow up there, Just use your regular voice.
Really?
I think because they get so tired of the pick apart on the dialects that they like, if you can't get it, just
then don't even try.
Yeah, people could just figure you came somewhere else. Because I just figured Tretch wasn't from Louisiana.
Yeah,
I figured he probably was
East Coast.
selling drugs, being in the East Coast, probably heading down to Atlanta, going up to New York to get what he needed to get, and then bringing it back. Like, I don't know. When I saw Tretch, I seen him having different type of
That's
movement.
really the only nitpick I have about this movie is like, I wish they would have just worked because he was a good. He acted good. Well.
Yeah,
it's just the dialect, the way he said things. It was nothing Southern about
nothing. Nothing.
He just talked normal.
Yeah.
Now Jada Pinkett was in the pocket.
Ooh, she was in the
super
pocket.
Southern Belle.
Smile.
Yeah.
Oh, that I was like, woo!
Super Southern Belle. She never got out of pocket, but when it came to Tretch, it would just kind of irritate me. Like,
or what about when Jason? Sorry, Allen, because I want to work
Payne.
with you with Tyler. But when he say, I ain't never really watched the sun set before. I love you, Alan.
I don't know if nobody even in the South even talking like that.
That was a good one. And I used to repeat it over and over and over.
You should repeat.
I did.
Because see now, Alan, Jonez got me on you now. Okay, there's a scene at the end. Well, we're gonna get to that part.
Okay, we're gonna get we be back.
But it has something to do with dialogue at the end.
We be back.
And he did not sound like he was from the South.
he did that a couple times. But everything else he just was so Southern personality. He really
his personality was there.
He got it.
Yeah, he had.
The acting was there. It was just
everything about Tretch's character was East Coast.
Man.
It didn't feel like he was from the South.
Yes.
He didn't have Southern charm. Mm-hmm. It was a lot that was missing in his character.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. I never read the script.
Him be a little bit more Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah, I would love to read the script and see if there's any side notes to where they might have wanted Tretch to do this or try that. You know, you never know. But I just felt like it just looked like Tretch to me.
Yeah, you know what? That's what they need to start doing. Releasing the actual movie scripts so we can read them too. It did. But it was like the rawness that character needed because he really had to be bad.
He had to be bad.
Stomachs open. Like
he had to be bad.
Yeah.
And you could tell he was a menace to the community because everybody was scared of him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Even the two dudes that was making a joke to Lyric was scared of him.
Yeah.
And he was like, y'all two shut up. Get up out out of here. Them two grown men got up and left out of the restaurant.
Yes.
They didn't want no problems with Alonzo.
No problems.
They want no problems with Alonzo. So Lyric is getting off work. Marty, her coworker, which is Tretch's girlfriend, says she'll cover for her because Lyric says she's on her period.
Yes.
So as Lyric is leaving, Lyric and Jason lock eyes. And that's when I seen like, oh, she might kind of be feeling him.
Yeah.
Because it was that up and down look.
Yeah.
Wasn't a regular look. Yeah. It was one of those. I was like, I was like, oh, she feeling him. She just playing hard to get.
Yeah.
That look is, you can't mistake that look.
Nah, you can't mistake that one. But see, I seen it in the first little grin.
Oh, you seen it?
Yeah, because that's how I am. Like, he's bending down playing with the kid. I'm like, already, he might be different from the rest.
He might be different.
Like, that's the first thing that's going in your head. Oh, it might be different. I don't know, though.
You don't know her. So she gives him the look. She continues to walk out. He goes outside after. He offers her a ride. Of course, she says no. You know, I'm waiting for the bus. The bus comes. He, I guess, follows the bus, follows her home. Now, this is what I would say. In 1994, you could do that. If you do that now,
that's stalking.
It's stalking. So young men do not do that to women now.
That ain't what I meant by go get her. I didn't mean
That's
that.
That's not what she meant. If you like a girl and you see her at the mall, do not follow her home in your car.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
That does not work in these days and times.
Yes.
You get in a lot of trouble for that.
And if you show up at her job with something you think she wants, and it's not receptive, don't do that again either.
Oh, please.
But if she look at you like Lyric looked at Jason,
That's a different look.
Yeah,
And you
might
gotta
get to
know
go
the
again.
look.
Yeah, you gotta know the look.
You gotta know the look.
Read the room.
Read the room.
Read the room.
Read the room. So this one thing he did do right. When he followed her home, he had flowers.
Yes.
He did it right.
Chivalry. Telling you.
So he gave her the bouquet of roses. She picked one rose. And that means something that she picked one rose. And she smiled at him. So that was the green light. Like,
yeah. Okay.
I might give you a chance.
Yeah, I might.
And I think that's the first time Jason actually knew, like, oh, I think I got a shot.
Right. He was like, I'm finna pull out all the stops for this.
So I'm glad they wrote it that way to where she at least in that scene, you can tell he kind of broke through the defense.
Yes.
Right. He broke down that wall just a little bit with the roses. And he just peeled off. He didn't bother. He just gave her the rose, let her go in the house, and left her alone. Like, sometimes that's all you got to do.
That's all you got to do.
Because men, sometimes we can talk ourselves out of a good woman.
Oh, very fast. Oh, very
Don't
fast.
talk too much.
Like, oh, you said exactly what I need to know. You have a wonderful day.
You know what I'm saying? Let the woman lead. Don't talk too much.
Mm-hmm. And let the man choose you, ladies. Mm-hmm.
So during that exchange of the flowers, she says she wants to meet with him. I forgot the term she used.
When the sun next leaves footprints across the sky.
Which meant sunset on the bridge.
Yes.
That's all that meant. Jason didn't understand it. She eventually told him, and he kind of got where she was trying to get to. So he met with her the next day, and they sat on the bridge. At first, he didn't want to climb up because it was very high. We can't do that down here.
Yeah.
She was like, I thought she wanted to see me.
Right.
What she said? You said anywhere.
You said anywhere. You said anywhere.
He said anywhere.
Yeah, I did.
So he climbs up. They sit up there. Once again, he almost said too much because it was kind of turning it off. He was like, this is boring or whatever he was saying. She looked at him like,
And that bus passed by.
Yeah,
right. Do you ever wonder what a bus?
The bus.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now,
I don't know.
Yeah, he wasn't interested in.
He just killed the whole moment.
He killed the vibe, and he almost ruined.
He almost did, because that would have ended it for me. I'm just being.
Yeah.
Never mind.
You gotta meet her where she's at and kind of build on that. Mm-hmm. But when you downplay where she's at, you're gonna lose the woman. Absolutely. And he was kind of downplaying. You can tell she's an imaginative woman and she dreams.
Visionary.
So you can't knock her for that, or you're definitely gonna lose her.
Facts.
Because for her to be the type of person that would sit there just to watch the buses and dream about where they're going, that means she definitely doesn't want to be in that town for too much longer.
Right.
Like that town is definitely too small for her imagination.
Right.
Way too small. And I think over time, Jason kind of understood who she was and how she thought about things.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. Because it didn't seem so weird and odd between them later on in the movie. He kind of understood, like, she just one of those girls that big imagination, big dreams, and this city's pretty much not going to hold her.
And I feel like, too, he enjoyed the peace she brought. He realized that her imagination and her creativity actually brought peace and calmness to the trauma he's actually had to go through.
He was going through a lot.
Yeah, and I felt like it was like he knew that when he was with her, that was his moment of peace and just happiness, and everything else was just still around him.
Yeah, for sure. So they leave from there, and then he goes home. Josh cooks dinner. And unfortunately, Josh sells drugs. So his mother was like, I'm not eating this.
That's right. That's right.
I know where you got the money from to pay for it. I'm not eating it. But it wasn't that she just didn't want to eat it. She was throwing it away.
Yeah, facts. I'm just like that. And I swear, I think I got it from that movie. I swear.
I swear. It away.
I swear it.
That boy said, I spent $20 on that roast.
That's right.
Things got kind of heated. And he balled up his fist and he was getting ready to punch his mother in the face.
Yeah, he felt rejected.
He felt rejected. And Mad Dog started coming out of him. Because if Jason Jason caught his arm in mid-swing to hit his mother in the face.
Didn't he say something like, I could see
And he said, I can see
how a man
can hit you.
Yep. I remember that.
And she slapped him.
Yep.
And that's when the fist came back and Jason came into play and pretty much saved his mother from getting beat. But just the fact that he was getting ready to beat his mother down.
The same thing he absolutely despised and hated his father for.
Correct. The same thing. He was getting ready to do the same exact thing. Yeah. And mind you, he wasn't drunk.
Nope.
He knew exactly what he was getting ready to do, putting his hands on his mama. He could not blame it on alcohol. Alcohol had nothing to do with that.
He was just rejected.
He was just rejected. He was hurt. He was trying to do something nice for his mom, which ain't nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But you got to understand the type of mom you got.
Facts.
She not going for that.
Nah, she ain't going for that.
She knows you sell dope and you bought this food with dope money.
Facts. Facts.
So you have to respect the fact that she's like, I'm not going to eat it.
Yeah. My husband come bring me, when we were dating young, come bring me a gift. Wait, what? This is like DKNY, the DK, the hat, the shirt. My question is, thank you, but how'd you get this?
How'd you get it?
Because however you got it, if it ain't the way, I don't want it. I don't care what it is. I don't even want it. You could take me to the park. We can lay out that blanket and you could put an effort into helping make a lunch. That means more to me than those items that you bought from somebody else's family who is non-existent or tore apart. Right? Because I told you what happened to my dad. So I had like multiple dynamics going on with me of not wanting that for myself.
Did you hurt his feelings whenever you told him something like that?
Yeah.
Like it deeply kind of hurt him?
But I also would explain.
Okay, got you.
Yeah, like I wouldn't just, I would never just smash it. But initially I did because I didn't realize that it would hurt, that, you know, they are out there trying to get it the best way they know how to provide for you or to make you feel special, risking their lives for it. Exactly. And so that's when I knew to just be just a little bit more loving with that's not how I want things from you. You know, like, I love you. It can't be about the things. So you got a million other ways that you could show me that you love me than spending a whole bunch of money that you got to go out and get a certain way. Yeah.
I understand.
But you have to reject it. Otherwise, they're going to keep.
They keep buying you stuff with drug money or whatever and stuff. Which makes you pretty much complicit. You're accepting it. Yeah. I mean, hey.
We got to keep it real. I feel like this, as women, we have to constantly stay on when we come from those elements, meaning some people get into it with not from the elements. But when you're in those elements, as a woman, I think that we have a responsibility to not get comfortable with the fact that certain bills are being paid or, you know, we don't have no more worries and I get the car I want. Like, ultimately, your kids are not going to have a father. You got to stand on business because either they're going to end up dead or in jail. That's the only outcomes. It's very rare that people make it. Right. So if you really want what's best for your kids, like, we got to stand on business with that. Like, no, keep saying no. Don't get complacent and then start accepting a few gifts, start accepting a few things. No, you go out there and dig in the mud and go get it and let them see you out there digging in the mud for it. And he going to be like, you know what? Let me go get it out the mud. I ain't got to go get it that way. Like, let's put something together so we can see how we can do this the right way. Can you help me do it the right way? Y'all got to be able to ask for that. Because a lot of us, we're smart. We can do the resumes, the cover letters, show you how to get out there, put you in that nice big company where you making over $100,000 a year, even if you don't have an education. If you got a good woman, let her help you.
You're right. So, Josh, I guess, eventually listens to his prison buddy. He steals a car, takes it to the chop shop. And his prison buddy hooks him up with like $200 and tells him that he's going to plug him with Alonzo for a bigger job. So Josh, being as giddy as he was and money hungry, he like, all right, cool, $200. Just matter of fact, he said, I could steal 10 of these a day.
Right.
He can make it 2 Gs a day. But his buddy's like, no, we could do something even bigger than that. And we found out later is bank heist.
Right.
So you can tell that Josh really doesn't want to go past chop shop stuff. he really was cool with that. But his buddy kept pushing the line. No, we could do this. We could do this. And so I don't know whether it's Josh being comfortable with whatever money he was making, or did Josh know the inherent danger of going past just chop shop stuff? You know what I'm saying? Because he really didn't want to do it.
Right. Right.
He really did. Because remember in the beginning, when his buddy was first talking to him, he didn't want to do the stealing car stuff.
Right. I remember that.
He was just like, I'm good right here. I got a gig. I'm good. So, but his buddy kept pushing the line.
Yes.
And even at the chop shop, pushing the line. I got a bigger gig for you. So it makes me feel like maybe you're trying to set him up for failure. Like, because Josh ain't nothing but a drunk.
Yeah.
Like, why would you bring him in on something?
Right. Why would you?
Why would you?
You know he gonna mess it up.
You know he gonna mess it up. So are you setting him up to get chopped up by Alonzo? Like slitting the stomach by, that was kind of weird. I'm just like, he's not dependable.
Right. That's like some of my little relatives who want to get in a business. I'm like, I would never do that to you. Because I know you.
And it falls back on your reputation.
Cassie. Yeah, like and thank God I can say end up like Cassie now. Not thank God for Cassie's sake. I don't mean it like that. Forgive me. But just meaning that her being brave enough to expose that story, I can then tell them why I won't help you. Because I see what you're into. I see the choices you're making. There's no way I can bring you in knowing that that's your future because of the choices you're making.
Correct.
I can't do it. I can't. Correct. I got to sleep at night. Sorry.
I feel you. We get to the point to where Jason rents a bus, which is very clever. Very, very romantic. Jason rents out a bus and picks up Lyric.
I love that.
Surprises her. Mm-hmm. Even she kept saying, Jason, is it okay for us to be on this bus? Like, are we going to get in trouble for this? It's just us on the bus.
It was so cute.
So he takes her out for dinner. They have a nice dinner. She's very impressed because she probably didn't think he had it in him to even think that way.
I know.
But he got into his bag and pulled out something nice for her.
He did that.
he did that.
Yeah.
And you can tell while they're sitting there having dinner, she's falling in love with him. You can see it at that point, like this might be the one type of look. It wasn't the up and down like I want him type of look. It was this could be my husband.
Yes,
type of love look type of thing. And they have a beautiful time.
Yes,
they have a nice time. Quiet, quaint time, and it was a nice moment. It was a very nice moment. It was very not a lot of dialogue, but you can tell that there was a lot of love being present.
It was souls connected.
Yeah, it was like soul, look in those eyes
and
connected.
It's just, oh yeah.
It was a nice vibe that they was having. It transitions to them taking a small boat across the river. Lyric is making up a story about being in Paris.
Oh yeah.
The Paris story.
Yes.
And she wanted him to join in the story.
Yes.
And that's when he figured out like, oh, I got to be a part of her life like this.
Yes.
Like I can't just listen to her tell stories.
Right.
She want me to be in the story.
Yes.
She told one half and he had to tell the other half of the Paris story.
Yes.
I was like, that's kind of dumb.
That was hella funny.
Yeah.
But I used to do stuff like that's why I said I'm so weird. Even the girl at the Marty, how she reads poems and stuff.
Marty
that
reads
was me.
Poems,
like I would read poems and.
So were you more like Marty or like Lyric?
So I had a Marty body. Okay. But I had a Lyric spirit.
Got you.
If that makes sense. So I had guys probably approaching me like how Marty was going through. But I was acting like Lyric. Oh. Which made it even harder, right? On the brothers. Because they like, well, wait a minute. You look a certain way. Yeah. But I had 5 uncles.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, it wasn't no disrespect going on at all.
Nah, and it was you a lady and then my mom was pursuing higher education. So a lot of times I grew up with my grandma, and my youngest uncle was 14 years older than me. So I'm watching them like date and watching them grow up. So they would like have me on the phone, have me listening to them telling girls that they love them. And then they click over, tell the other girl the same thing. Don't you ever be that stupid, So I was being gamed up from the beginning.
Gaming you up. So they have a beautiful day. They end up making love in the flower bed, in the flower bed. I think that was the artistic part of the director, just the way it was laid out.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because they could have went to a motel. It's a lot of ways they could have had sex, but for them to have it right there, I feel like it was more artsy.
It was very artsy.
Very artsy. But it was dope, though. It was dope.
It was dope.
The way it was. But when I first watched it, I knew eventually, you know, they're in love, they're young, it's going to be a sex scene. But I did not expect it to be in a bunch of flowers.
Right. With wood sticks going up.
Wood sticks.
I'm about to ask Jada about that.
I
Jada,
did not
girl,
expect
I just want to know, did anything go in the crack? Me and my daughter was talking about that earlier, and we were wondering.
Bucket naked.
And they was getting it. So
and they was getting it in.
Yeah.
So I guess 94, that was something that you can probably get actors to do. I feel like you couldn't get actors to do that anymore. Am I tripping? Could you ask a young man and young woman to do that?
It has to be done in that setting, though. It has to make sense.
It has to make sense.
A lot of times when they're asking us to do certain sex scenes, especially in a lot of the indies, it just don't make sense.
It's more of a perv type of thing.
Or it's just exploitation. So like, say for instance, the movie I did with you, that like literally I only did 2 other ones besides that because I just turned those down. That was good for me.
Okay.
Meaning that it was done a certain way. It made sense to the story. These are 2 people falling in love. That made sense. Yeah. The way Jason's lyric did it, it made sense. Even though they were absolutely naked and that was over my head. But some reason, even though I was like, oh my God, Jada. Because I was young, right? Yeah. So I'm having that moment. But it just wasn't derogatory. It wasn't trashy. It made sense.
It actually was like they was making love.
Yeah, it was real.
Scene.
We got to see the evolution of them falling in love. Yeah. We got to see it. It wasn't just a quick montage. It was an evolution of them falling in love, them dating, you getting to see the effort he was putting into her. The sex made sense.
It made sense.
The love making made sense because, by the way, see how that wasn't even boring, but he made love? I'm just saying. Yeah. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It ain't got to be boring.
A bed of flowers, hey? So, Lyric goes to work and tells Marty how much fun she had. And Marty, being the poetic woman she is, Marty's trying to tell her, girl, you got the one.
Girl.
Like, he washed your feet?
Girl, I would love for a nigga to wash these feet.
She shows it. That's the line of the century, right?
Yes, I would love for a nigga to wash these feet. Yes.
So Marty actually tells her, Marty makes her aware that this is your first time making love.
Yeah.
You don't even realize that.
You made love.
It's your first time. Yes. And Lyric didn't know that.
No.
She was like...
she knew it was special.
She knew it was special.
Yes.
But Marty's like, no, you made love like for the first time.
Yes.
And that's when it kind of snapped in the Lyric like, damn, maybe I did. Like, maybe, damn, I guess he is the one, you know.
Yeah. Come with me, my love. Yeah.
So at a Juneteenth celebration, Alonzo and his boys are kicking it. Josh walks up with Rat and Teddy because the prison homeboy wants to introduce him. Lonzo's kind of being lightweight disrespectful, saying, you know, y'all, whatever that little stuff. My buddy told me about it. I'm just doing this for a favor for him. That's exactly what he said. Mm-hmm. I don't need you, dude.
Right.
I'm doing it as a favor for him.
Right.
So Josh, being a hard dude, he like, what? So it's 2 bulls bumping heads at that point.
Right.
And basically it is what Alonzo's saying, get the hell out of my face.
Right.
I'm trying to enjoy the Holy Ghost.
Broke.
Right.
Broke ass ninja.
Broke ass, yeah. And I'm trying to catch the Holy Ghost.
Right. That was dynamic though.
Yeah.
Gangsters receiving the word right there.
So I'm trying to catch the Holy Ghost.
No, I've been changed.
And if you pay attention to the whole scene, because they show them singing and everything, Alonzo and them was quiet.
Yes.
They were enjoying the Holy
Yes,
Ghost.
they were. Yes, they were.
They were actually enjoying the ceremony.
Yes, they were.
Josh and them was one that was coming there drunk.
Right.
Holding bottles in their hand and all that other. Alonzo was chilling. He was actually chilling.
For the first time.
For the first
time. And you had to come mess it up.
And you messed it up, pissed him off. He was probably in a good mood till you came there, you know.
Man.
And not, you know, what pissed Alonzo off was like, he was like, I'm trying to put you on as a favor.
Right.
And you act like you don't care.
Yeah.
Like, you're not respecting the fact that I don't need you.
Right. I don't need you.
You acting like you making more money than I'm out here making. So
right.
I know you're not making what I'm making.
Right.
That's how Alonzo was looking at it. That's why he called them broke niggas.
Right.
Like, I know you broke.
I'm trying to help you get some money. I'm doing if you don't
get out my face. Just get out. Let me enjoy the Holy Ghost.
Yes. Exactly.
That was a dope
and
scene.
And then it was, did you peep the song? What
song was playing?
It was I Know I've Been Changed.
Oh wow.
Right. That's why I was like, how okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess Alonzo had a change of heart because the next scene, Alonzo and the fellas are in front of the house, at Alonzo's house, on the porch, planning out the bank robbery. He's telling them what they're going to do. What
him and Lyric get into it at the fairground before that, right? Yeah, remember they at the fairground and they get on that one that spin them around and Josh does something. And they kind of get into it. And she's telling them, you ain't got to be like that. It is
during that same setting. You're right.
Yeah.
It is during that same setting. Mm-hmm. Lyric and Jason are having a good time.
Yes.
And Josh is drunk, as he always is. Mm-hmm. He sees them on getting on some type of ride. He jumps on the ride.
Right.
Bum rushes on the ride. That's the first time a Lyric meets him.
Exactly.
Josh is, Jason is introducing him. Like, this is my brother. He all up on her. Like, she only about 100 pounds. He's squeezing her all in.
Right. Whatever.
She's not enjoying that at all.
No.
She's not enjoying that at all. And at one point in time, he's trying to touch her knee or something like that. And she's like, stop. Like, and Jason is telling like, dude, stop. So the ride stops. She gets off. She's pissed. Yeah. Like, she done for the night with both of them.
Right.
She, like, you let your brother violate me like this. You ain't whooped on him. It's over. But Jason does check him though.
Mm-hmm. And then she get mad at him.
And then she is mad.
Yep.
Jason punches him, knocks him to the ground. Is getting ready to hit him again. And then she's telling Jason, stop, that's enough. You know, you're hurting him or whatever and stuff. And like you said, it confused me too. Like,
because you know why? see, I needed to get into that.
Oh,
because as a woman, right? You know what's in yours.
Yes.
So you got to be careful about putting batteries in the back, meaning or being upset about certain things when they are in the presence. Prime example, speaking of Miss Jada, with the situation at the Oscars.
Yes.
Now, I'm
battery in the back.
I got my thought about that, and it is not against her because I'm the opposite of what everybody else will be talking about. But we do have to be careful of that. And so she wasn't expecting him to do it the way he did it. She wanted him to handle it the way she would have handled it. So she wasn't expecting him to get so upset, put his hands on him, all in a public setting. But we got to be careful of when we tell our men that something ain't right or something we don't like, we got an attitude, whatever. We got to keep in mind how they respond as individuals.
As men, that's why going back to what I said in the very beginning, our emotion sometimes shows up in violence.
Yes.
It ain't always heartfelt emotion.
Yes.
Where we understand where y'all coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he touched your butt over there at the grocery store? I'm going to go kill him.
Yeah.
Like, it sometimes shows up very violent.
Right.
So going back to what you're saying, be very careful about the battery you put in his back.
Yes.
Because it might not turn out the way you thought.
Right. I feel like, Jada probably know well outside of that, but I'm sure she wasn't thinking that at the Oscars he was going to get up there and actually slap him. Nobody thought that.
No.
I don't think she thought that. Nah.
Clean cut? No, he would never do that. But when you put that battery back there, it changes things.
Yeah, but Will Smith, I still love you. I still support everything you do, sir.
For sure.
everything you
he
do
a brother
because
that-
you're human.
Up until that slap, he had done everything right in his life. I'm not about to jump
and
on
that
about
was
that one
the
thing.
second offense. Because do you remember the Oscars the year before that when Chris was saying those people who started the Oscar so white thing? He was attacking them then, saying that there was no talent there. How dare they not show up when there's no talent?
That's true.
So he had already started a year prior to that happening.
So it was a build-up.
It was a build-up, and it was a lot of disrespect. It was a lot of disrespect, and I get that we're supposed to handle it differently, but let's just say I'm not going to knock that brother for how he chose to handle it. Yeah. Of course, we would have wanted him to do it differently.
Of course.
But I'm not going to make you a villain.
No.
You've done too much and showed me too much.
Yeah, people make mistakes. You know, we gotta be able to forgive and forget. Yeah. So when Alonzo, going back to Alonzo and them planning a robbery, Alonzo has everything mapped out. Josh is like, what if I want to go shopping in the bank? This fool said, what if I want to go shopping? Meaning, what if I want to hit up the customers and take some watches and some purses and stuff? Right. This fool Alonzo blew up on it, put the gun to his head.
Right.
How about you shop for this gun on your head?
Why can't you focus? You worried about a cheap ass watch when we trying to get some real money? Like
we trying to get real money, and we trying to do it in like 90 seconds.
Right.
You want to walk around and rob the customers in a bank?
Just stop adding stupid people to it, okay?
Right.
Jesus.
Even his homeboy out of prison was like hard-headed, just dumb. Even his partner had enough of it. Like you just hard-headed. You don't want to listen.
That dude. Yeah. Bokeem, he's just such an amazing actor.
I know he is. Whew. He is. But Lyric overhears the plan, and that's crucial.
Yes, very crucial.
Because she tells Jason, which she was not supposed to do. Right. Because Jason is protective of his brother.
Right.
Like straight up.
Dry snitching.
Yeah. So he literally, when she tells him don't do nothing about it. But once again, you can't control a man's emotions.
You cannot.
Women, you cannot do that.
You cannot.
She should have known what he was going to do.
Yep.
Because he did exactly that.
Yep.
He ran up on Josh as he was lifting weights.
Yep.
And got on his head about it. Matter of fact, pushed the weights down on him.
Yep.
I know you ain't stupid enough to rob a bank. Josh lies right there in his face. You think I'm that stupid? Yeah, I really do think you that stupid.
I do.
Which he was. Jason was correct. You are that stupid.
I just wish he wouldn't have showed up instead of showing up late. Like, bro, you could have just stayed at home. It already passed.
But the way I saw it was he showed up late because it wasn't even because of Jason stopping him. Because Jason didn't really stop him. That conversation was only like half a minute.
He had a tug of war for 2 seconds because he already didn't even want to deal with Alonzo from the beginning. I got a gig.
But what he did, in my opinion, what he did was he went and got drunk.
Yep. Because he was mad with Jason.
He was mad with Jason. So he shows up late and drunk. Yep. So, and it played out in the bank when he was like, he punched a dude in the face and took his watch and doing all this stuff. Look, the dudes you came here for and with, they already in the car.
Right.
You still in the damn bank. They had to come get him out of the bank.
Like,
fool, what did you doing? Kneed him in the stomach, threw him in the car, pretty much like a hostage. You would have swear he was one of the people in the bank.
That's the only way you can save those kind of people.
Kneed him in the stomach and threw him in the car. Fool, we trying to get up out of here. What did you doing?
It was crazy. Crazy.
So Alonzo, they string up Josh. He cuts him on the stomach. Josh says something to the fact of, it was your bitch ass sister.
Yes.
Who told my brother and he held me up, which was a lie. Jason was not the reason why you was late in that bank, bro.
You was late because you wanted to go get some drink first. Right. You were not drunk when you was hitting the weights. That is clear.
Don't blame it on your brother. You was drunk and belligerent and you was late on your own. That's why Trench said, give me that damn watch. How a late nigga gonna tell time?
Right.
That was another bar right there. That was a great line, a great bar. So he sliced him in the stomach. He sliced him in the stomach, and surprisingly, and even Josh's prison homeboy was like, "You just gonna let him go?" Lonzo's let him go.
Yeah.
Which is weird because in the hood, in reality,
we know that don't happen.
They're going to find you in a river somewhere.
Right. I mean, just for the fact of retaliation.
Just like, retaliation they don't even alone.
Want that. Yeah.
And Josh is a live wire, so you know there's going to be some retaliation.
You got to know that. But see, that Alonzo thought he was big stuff.
That's the thing, too. His ego was like, ain't nobody going to mess with me. Can't nobody touch me in this little city or whatever and stuff. So he lets him go. Josh goes home, covered in blood, falls all over the house. You know, scared the hell out of his mom. She just like going through it. What?
His two partners, though, like how he could tell them to get up, sit down, shut the F up, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
They his lapdogs. Maybe he was hoping he could do that with Josh.
I think he did. I think he did. But I think Josh is so much like he's a live one, but he's so much like his dad. You can't control a mad dog, hence the name Mad Dog.
Yeah, you
so him having just a little bit of mad dog in him, he's never under control.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Hence, his friends, his two best friends, could not control him.
Yep. Got drunk.
Yeah, even at the fair, he pulls out a gun on the dude that's selling bunnies and stuff.
Right.
He's out of control.
Yeah, out of control.
And Lonzo, I feel like sooner or later, him and Lonzo would have bumped heads.
Oh, I knew that.
And somebody would end up dying.
Yeah.
That's what would have happened in that scenario between those two.
Inevitable.
Jason is so hurt seeing what Lonzo did to his brother. Now he getting ready to crash out.
Right.
Once again, men and their emotions.
Yes. You have no idea how many times I had to hold my husband back from going to like something
crash
happened
out.
To a family member.
Getting ready to go crash out.
No. Like, ugh.
Yeah, and I know how difficult it must be on women to get ready to see one of your loved ones, especially your husband, getting ready to definitely crash out. And you have to be the one to physically hold them back from doing that because you know what the final result is going to be. He going to jail. He going to end up dying. It's only two things coming out of that.
One or the other.
But as a man, I'm telling you right now, we just see red.
Yeah, I know it.
We don't even see an end result. We just see the ultimate goal is get back and revenge. That's all we see. Unfortunately, we just one track minded when it comes to that anger. When we get to that point, and I know me myself, I'm a very calm dude. But when I get to that point, you not stopping. Because for you to take me from where I am right now, chilling, to that point.
Yeah. Facts.
You've done more than just disrespect me to get me there.
And probably more than once.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yep.
So at this point, probably nobody's going to be able to stop me.
So my new one is for me, I'd be like, I'm going to flee the scene before I do it. So I got that from Joseph in the Bible. Like, let me just hurry up and run out of here before it go bad. When Potiphar's wife was trying to get on him and she snatched pieces, but he was like, "I'm getting up out of here." So that's me. But before I blow it up, I gotta go.
So Lyric has her suitcase packed because remember they had planned on leaving. They after that whole Paris romance day where they made love, they had planned on leaving. They planned a trip and get out of town and just live their lives. And Jason shows up looking like a sad puppy with blood on him. And he had to tell her, I can't go. But before he told her, she saw it in his face.
Yes.
She's like, you didn't, did you?
You didn't do that. Yes.
She knew it as soon as she saw the way he looked because he was not happy. He looked like a child who had did something very wrong.
Yes.
And she said, you didn't do it, did you? He did it.
You can't save a brother who ain't trying to be saved, Jason.
She schooled him a little bit. She gave him a bar a little bit and kind of let him know, like, you just can't do it.
You can't.
You can't keep chasing after this dude.
Like, you can't.
You will ruin your entire life doing that.
Yes, facts.
And she definitely wasn't going to do that for Alonzo. She
Heck no. Alonzo gonna be Alonzo.
Lonzo. Mm-hmm. So, and she says, which I'm pretty sure a lot of women say in the hood, like she says she tired of this ghetto shit. She said just like this.
Ghetto shit.
Yeah, tired of this ghetto shit.
For real.
And she just said it just like that. And that's the first time where you felt her side of the pain. Like, I'm just tired of this. I'm trying to do the right thing with me and you. And here we go, this ghetto shit.
Here we go. I swear.
And my brother's already in the ghetto stuff. So it's like, come on, man.
Come on. Like, don't you see this beautiful life you could create?
You can have a great life.
You have a great life and you're going to throw it away. Like, that is so frustrating.
It's frustrating. And you can see the frustrating and the pain in her face. She did such an incredible job, especially at the end of the movie during that particular scene with the crying and just the emotion of, I'm trying to love you. She said, I'm trying to love you.
Yeah.
But you making it hard.
You making it hard. Woo.
That's a tough thing for a woman to have to say, like, I'm trying to love you, dude.
Yes.
I'm trying to give you everything I am.
Yeah. And you making it just way too hard.
You making it too hard.
Every time I look up, you making the wrong choice.
You're making the wrong choice time after time. But what it brought me back to was like, that's probably how Gloria felt with Mad Dog.
Exactly.
I'm trying to love you. I gave you 2 boys. I'm trying to build with you. And you just coming here just acting wild.
Right.
Drunk and beating on me. And you beat me in front of our son. You ain't even take me into the room and doing it quietly. You're doing it right in front of the boys.
Right in front of them.
Which will inherently get into their DNA. And they grow up hitting women because they saw their fathers do it.
Or saving.
Yeah, right.
Because I've been
You're right about that.
them saving ones. I'd be like, boy, why don't you go get you a nice girl? Why you
Nice
trying
girl.
to save but he see a dynamic and he want to save it because he couldn't save his mom.
Yeah.
So then he's going to save all these women.
I know.
We got to get mental health help, guys.
We do.
Because even our purposes be wrong, just misconnected in the wrong places.
We do.
Yeah.
So Jason finally tells her the story, and now we wrap up how Mad Dog was killed. He tells her what happened that night. He didn't mean to kill him.
No.
He just turned and
He was
fired.
scared.
He was scared. He was a kid. He was scared. In hindsight, it's kind of good he did kill him because we don't know what he would have done to his mom.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, he was beating on his mama.
Yeah.
So maybe he could have kept beating her and killed her.
Right.
So it's like, it's a catch-22.
Right.
If he didn't do it, what would have Mad Dog done that night in totality?
Because it was out of control.
Because he was out of control that night. That night he was on some other stuff.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was all
It wasn't normal Mad Dog.
Nah.
And you could tell by everything that was going on that night. Like, he kicked in the door.
Right.
It was a different type of thing.
It was a different thing.
It was a different thing. That night, Mad Dog was going to have what he wanted, whether she wanted to give it to him or not. So it was going to get ugly. So maybe that had to happen. And he had to kind of get rid of Mad Dog to kind of bring it to a close. But anyway, he tells her, and then they have a tender moment where she finally understands why he's having the nightmares and why he is the way he is about Josh. It all comes together in the end. And Jason and his mom is looking at old pictures of Mad Dog, and they're going over the old pictures when he came back from the war. And she was like, he used to be a nice guy. Like, he used to be a good dude. Like, as bad as it ended, like, he was a normal dude. But like you said in the beginning, he came home and it wasn't no celebration.
No celebration,
It was
no
nothing
help,
for him.
no healing, nothing.
It was
Just,
nothing.
you gave your life and now you ain't got no leg and forget you.
Yeah. It was nothing there for him, which is demoralizing. It just hurts you to know what you gave your life for that. Jason really, it's a lot of emotion going on in that scene. Jason, he misses his father. He's crying as he's watching these pictures. He knows that dude, the nice version.
Good guy,
He knows the good guy, and he's crying because he only wanted that guy in his life
to come back.
Yeah. Like, he just wanted his daddy back. That's it. That's all he wanted.
I totally get it, Jason.
Yeah. He just wanted his dad back, and unfortunately, that was never going to happen. Even if he didn't kill him, Mad Dog might have been done. He just ruined himself at some point in time. Mad Dog just gave up on.
He gave up.
Yeah, on life in general.
Yeah.
He just gave up. Josh is now sitting in a bar playing with a gun. We don't know what's going on in Josh's mind. We don't know at all what's going on in Josh's mind. We find out later that basically he was going over a plan in his head on the revenge and get back for Alonzo. And also Jason, he had found out, he heard Jason telling his mom that him and Lyric was going to leave. So he overheard that. So in his mind, he's like, I got to eliminate everybody. I got to get rid of everybody.
Right.
So I'm assuming that night he was getting really drunk to get enough courage to do what he needed to do. Because this wasn't just a beatdown.
Yeah, he came in blazing.
He was killing some people.
Like, whoa.
He was going to end it all that night. So he was in there getting super drunk to kind of get, and you see a lot of dudes do that in real life. They're not really hard like that, but they got to get drunk to get them to that point.
Yeah.
So
put on that music.
Yeah, that wild music.
Yep.
Maybe some Tupac, who knows? and they go there. But once again, Rat and Teddy is right there just letting him go through all these emotions. They ain't trying to talk him down.
But you do know why. Okay.
They just letting him go through all this. After we talked about that
a little bit, after I thought about it, I'm like, but they also know they can't stop Josh.
They can't stop.
The moment you say something, y'all finna be arguing and fighting. Because I have
and he might pull a gun out on you.
Like that. Yeah. So it was like, okay, I just got to let you live. Because if I say anything, it's finna be World War II between us.
Yes.
And I think they knew that.
And they probably was looking at it like, long as he's in the corner, not bother nobody.
Exactly.
We good.
Yeah.
He hatching up a whole plan.
Right.
In his mind.
Sitting in a booth by himself.
He hatching up a whole plan. And his plan was total destruction. Yeah. Like, everybody got to go.
The Dark Rider was on force.
Everybody got to go. So Alonzo and his girlfriend is
having a moment.
We just call it having a moment.
Relations.
They're having relations in an alley or something.
In an alley, sis.
Like, on some garbage cans.
On the garbage. that. I said, why couldn't it be in the alley without the garbage? I said, though they were very intentional.
They were very intentional.
Everything that they did in that movie.
One couple have love in the flowers.
In the most beautifulest place. So basically, were they trying to indicate to us that if you're moving like that, that's trash?
That's trash. I think that's what exactly you hit it on the head right there.
I'm a filmmaker and a producer. We are very intentional about everything.
See? But even before we get to that, back at work, there was an instance where Marty told Lyric that what she has is a quiet man in a thunderstorm. She found a quiet place in a thunderstorm. And that was a hell of a thing to tell somebody.
My dad would tell me that about my husband. He'd say, that is a diamond in the rough.
Yeah.
It's like
she gave her some game. Like, sis, don't mess this up.
Mess it up.
This dude is quiet. He's respectful. Not a lot of dudes out there like, he got a job.
Yes.
He respects his mother.
Whoa.
Like, come on now.
Jesus.
He's checking the boxes. Do not throw it away because he has love for his brother. Because really that was his only fault was he just kind of overloved his brother a little bit too much.
Too much.
Just a little bit too much.
Just a little bit too much. Because he felt like he had to be responsible.
He's the older brother. It's a lot of pressure on him. And you see a lot of people go through that. The older siblings have to take care of the younger siblings. You just talking about yourself. So you grow up with that. You always feel that responsibility.
Yeah.
Even when y'all become adults. Yeah. You feel like you still have to take care of them.
And my older brother and sister from my bio dad, they call me their big little sister.
Wow. See? That's a good point. Mm-hmm. So Josh goes to Alonzo's house, and we getting back to Alonzo left with his girlfriend to have sex, to have relations. So now it's Alonzo's homeboys in front, and Lyric is upstairs. She's on the balcony.
Right. But I do want to say how when he didn't have protection, she was like, are you going to butter them biscuits when they come out the oven? She was like, no protection, no glove, no love. Okay.
She was on top of that one. Yeah. No glove, no love.
No love.
She was smart for that.
Ladies.
She was smart for that. And she loved Alonzo.
Yeah.
She wasn't going to let him.
But as you know, she was out there. She didn't have no kids at all.
At all.
You hear that, ladies?
She was in love with Alonzo.
She was.
Matter of fact, at some point in time in the movie, she said, he might not be much, but he all I got. And I don't know if I feel sorry for her because I'm like, damn, that's all you got.
Yeah.
This is the best you can do.
I didn't know how to feel. I didn't know. I was like, do I feel like, whoa? Or do I feel like
I felt sad for her. I really felt sad for her because I'm like, you're a beautiful young woman with a job. I'm pretty sure she probably had her own spot, had her life together. And Alonzo was the best you could do?
Mm-hmm.
Good God. Leave the town, please. Like, if that's the best you could do, leave.
Just leave. Yeah.
Just leave. But I get it, women in emotion. She might have really loved Alonzo.
Yeah.
She was in love with Alonzo.
She was.
Yeah, she was in love with him.
Because you can even see how close she was with Lyric. I feel like that was a testament.
Yeah.
And Lyric like her because she's on the one and she knows that this is probably the only good that my brother got going.
He ain't gonna get nothing better than this.
And they were like this, her and Marty. So
You're right. Her and Marty were close.
Mm-hmm.
So Josh shows up at the house and Lyric sees him from the window. And she's looking at him and they're looking at each other, but then he raised the guns up. She's like, it's time to go.
Right.
She runs immediately. This is what I want to say. Lyric was kind of foul for this, though. She didn't warn the dudes at the bottom that this dude was running up on her with a gun. Lyric said, every man for themselves.
Right. She saw what's her brother name again?
Lonzo.
She saw Alonzo was gone. My brother ain't down there.
She was gone. She didn't scream.
Nothing.
She would say, hey, his friend's at the bottom. This dude is about to kill y'all.
Yeah.
She cut. So essentially, they got blindsided. They never saw it coming. He just walked up and started shooting them. And the cold part about it, he killed his own friend, the dude in prison.
Yeah.
That's your partner.
Yeah.
That is your friend.
Yeah, you the one who brought me here. You the reason.
You the reason.
So you gotta go tell.
You the reason. And that little dude was trying to make it up them steps. He's like, come on.
Legs, work for me, legs.
Come on, legs.
Work for me. I mean, that's not
caught
funny,
him on the steps and it was like, oh
man.
Damn.
And
now,
and Tretch and Marty still in the alley.
They still in the alley. Matter of fact, they kept showing them in the alley. They cutting in between murder and sex.
Right.
Murder and sex.
Murder and sex.
It was like I said, it was very artsy the way they did this movie. You could tell like you said, it was intentional.
A
lot of stuff was intentional.
It was intentional. I feel like they were very intentional because they gave us the gritty that we needed, but it was so many lessons attached to every single thing. Like there was so many jewels. And I could tell they didn't want to just give us a hood story. They wanted to give us consequences and
also they wanted to give us a real young love story.
Yes.
Which we didn't have a lot of back then for our generation in the early 90s. We didn't have love stories.
No. It was the bomb.
Yeah, we didn't have any love stories. I mean, even in what was that, Boys in the Hood, there was really no love story. It wasn't. That was more gangster.
Yeah.
So that's kind of all we had at that point in time for that generation. We didn't really have a movie to show. We didn't have a Romeo and Juliet movie for our generation in the 90s. Eventually we started having Inkwell and stuff like that. Those movies came, Best Man, stuff like that.
Justice.
Yeah, but initially it wasn't really a lot of good stuff out there to show two young Black people in love and what it actually looks like in reality.
And
so I'm
fighting the world, the adversity, trying to hold that together.
Yeah. So I'm glad they kind of got artsy with it and made it feel special.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was actually a very well shot movie.
I would like to
work
with the writer of that film.
Yeah, it was great.
I'm gonna go look it up.
So when Alonzo shoots the two guys at the bottom, I mean not Alonzo, but when Josh shoots Alonzo's friends, he goes to find Lyric. She's hiding in the closet. He's looking under the bed. He raises up the covers. I'm like, she's not under the covers, dude. Clearly, she's not laying in bed under the cover. He just gone at this point.
But you know me, I would have put pillows in there. I would have been creating all calling distractions to get out that house.
She creeps out the door.
Go say it with my leg. She gonna creep out the door.
He's right there.
My daughter just said that.
I was like, I don't know why she did that. It doesn't make any sense. He didn't even have to run to catch her. He just said, come here.
You're right.
Where you going? Come here.
Said, why they do that like that? Why he couldn't walk all the way out the room and then she tried to sneak out or something?
I was just like, they made it a little bit too easy.
That was the only part.
Yeah.
Everything else was perfect.
They made it a little bit too easy how he caught her at the end.
Yeah.
So at the same time, Jason is understanding what's going on. So him, Rat, and Teddy are driving to get to Alonzo's house. A train stops him. Jason jumps out the car, goes past the train tracks and runs. He on feet all the way there. He gets there. He didn't bring a gun. I think he took one of the other guy's guns when he gets there. So now there's a standoff where Josh has the gun to his girlfriend and he's telling him, don't make me do this.
Yeah, don't make me do this again. I was about to say, don't forget the again.
Make me do this again. And this is the part that I was trying to get to with his dialect. He went straight New York dude at that point in time. He had no country accent at all. He was like, I'm tired of your shit, Josh. There was no country accent to that at all. He just started talking normal in a normal, angry voice, telling Josh he's tired of running after him, covering up for him, cleaning up his mess.
Right.
He pretty much let it all out. That, look, I'm tired of this. Tired of you. I'm tired of this. And put the gun down. Let her go. Basically, let her go. Matter of fact, he did say, let her go.
Taking stuff from me, too. Like,
let her go. This ain't got nothing to do with her. Let her go.
Then he tried to play to his mental health by saying, it's just going to be me and you.
Yeah. It just
so he even tried to play to
which was smart. It didn't work. But
well, he didn't hold it long enough.
Yeah, he didn't hold it.
That's how I felt like, bro, you were supposed to hold that a little longer. You could have got through. But
you gotta hold, because it was, he was starting to listen.
He was starting to listen. He was. I felt like
Jason
he didn't hold it long enough.
He definitely did not hold it long enough.
He didn't. He could have did that.
I actually do think he accidentally shot Lyric. I don't think he meant to shoot.
He did it on accident too.
Yeah. I think he accidentally just popped in because his reaction was like, oh, I did not mean to do that.
But it was like so like character though, like, oh, I didn't, but oh well. Yeah. Like that's kind of like how I felt.
After the fact, he was like, oh well.
Yeah.
But initially it was like, oh. It was like a kid who dropped
a juice or something.
A juice or something. Yeah. It was like it wasn't I didn't mean to do that.
He was desensitized.
Yeah. But peep this though. I've had conversations with friends saying that what really happened in that last scenario was that Josh might have killed Jason and Lyric and himself. And they just wrote it as the way it is because, and this is why I'm going to say this, and it sounds crazy, when they came out of the house, nobody paid attention to him carrying a shot woman out of the house.
They did not. They was just
they didn't even look at them.
So you felt the same thing I felt.
Which means they could have been spirits.
Yeah.
That's the conversation me and my friends had about it. That's how deep we get with Jason's lyrics. We was like, maybe they got killed in the house, and that's why nobody paid attention to him. Because he walked past the ambulance and the police, and nobody said, do you need help with this lady?
Like she shot, nobody ran, everybody was just like.
Even Alonzo pulled up and didn't go to his sister. No. He went to his homeboys.
Right.
Like he did not see Jason walking with his sister.
I never took it to the next level, but I thought the response was weird.
It was weird.
I did not think about that.
Think about that.
And then they actually got to have the life that they wanted because they got on that bus. Ooh.
See, we there. So what we saw was them essentially in heaven going on the bus to where they were supposed to go to, because there's no way nobody outside paid attention to him walking with this girl.
Right. I tripped off of that.
Think about that.
I think if I would have watched it right now again, it probably would have hit me. But just a long time ago, I wasn't there. Yeah. Like to even think that deep.
They did not see him walking with her.
They did not.
They paid attention to everything else except that. And when Alonzo pulled it, this would made me come to the final decision. Alonzo pulled up and went to his homeboys. Jason still walking with his sister. Yeah. He never even looked at them. He went straight to his homeboys and started crying about them.
Yeah, I got to watch that again.
So it's
they probably rewrote that.
They probably rewrote it. I think Josh, in the original script,
intention.
Or his intent. I think the original intent of the ending was everybody dies. I think Josh killed himself, his brother, and her. And I think they probably did a screening test. And the crowd was like, that's too sad.
That's too much.
We ain't doing all that.
Nah.
And they said, rewrite. They get away. Josh kills himself. And the crowd was like, okay, that's more like it.
Yes, that's more like it. Yeah.
Because I think from the way it looked, they were ghosts. They were ghosts.
You just hit me.
Yeah.
Because I tripped off ain't nobody go run to get her out his arm to get her in the ambulance.
Nobody
Like
run.
I had that moment.
The ambulance people standing right there,
Yes.
consoling Teddy and Rat. They didn't even say nothing to the girl that got shot.
Wow.
And then in the very next scene, they were on the bus.
Yes.
So it's like they went into heaven. They got to where they got to. That's
I'm
just
about to go back and watch that ending one because I did trip off of it, like I said, but I didn't put.
That's just my
Today,
take,
I would have though.
I could be wrong. That's just my take. I'm just saying.
You know what? I don't think he wrong because I literally will watch that scene, you guys. Like, ain't nobody, like, y'all gotta help Lyric. Why he walking so slow? That was my biggest thing. You know she shot near her. Why are you walking so slow? You walking hecka slow. Aren't you trying to save her life? Why aren't you guys running up to her? Where's the ambulance? So I had those thoughts, that intensity with it. But at that time, I wasn't where I am now. Yeah. He should have been trying to save her life. And but he wasn't. And why? Because they were spirits.
They were spirits. Which would have been in a novel, in a book, that's how you would end it in a book. But in a movie, people don't really want to see that. That's a horrible tragedy ending to a movie.
Yeah, a whole life tragedy.
Yeah, just tragedy. Like, and I know the people in the audience like,
we want hope.
They like,
we need a little hope.
Yeah, we just saw these two people in love, making love in the flower field. Now you want to kill them?
Like,
and they went back, they did screen test. They was like, nah, we got to write it in where they just got away.
Yeah.
You know what? Like that.
I really got to thank them. Thank all those filmmakers for making those movies back in the day because like people like me who come from those places and worse, you know, we need to be able to see those stories of making the different choices to have different outcomes. I think that, you know, people feel like they got to be the stripper because that's what they see.
Yeah.
You know, but if somebody like me who say I grew up in the hood and I went and got it out the mud, I didn't get up on the pole, none of that, not to knock the people who felt that that was their way. It just wasn't mine. And I was sure of it.
Mm-hmm. No, this
doesn't mean that my walk wasn't painful. It was complicated.
We needed those movies for that time.
Yeah.
And even now, those movies mean more to me now than ever because you get to see a lot of that stuff play out now and now dealing with mental health. We've been talking about mental health the whole time.
Man.
And what we saw in Mad Dog, you still seeing a lot of people right now. You see Mad Dogs right now. And they all need help right now.
Right now.
All the homelessness going around, those people need help.
Right now.
They need help right now. So we see a lot of that going on. So now we're at the end. Scale from 1 to 10, with 7 being good, 8 being great, 9 being excellent, and 10 being perfect. No flaws. What would you give it?
Whew, I would give it a 9.
Okay.
Just because I feel like I can't give anybody anything perfect because, well, I guess I can't say that because maybe the ending is whatever the person needed it to be.
Yeah.
The viewer, right? Our own perception versus their intent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I could almost give it a 10 for me because like I said, it was so influential. I saw myself in Jason, in Lyric, and not the mom per se, but kind of the mom when I'm rejecting gifts from family members or a spouse that's like getting it the wrong way. So I don't know. It was just either you could look at it, watch that movie and be like, I'm going to take everything good out of it because I recognize these dynamics in my life. Like, I know I don't want to be like Mad Dog. How do I not end up like Mad Dog and Josh? How? I go get help. How do I want to be like the mom? Do I not want? Each character, I feel like if you saw yourself in it or had a close family member or friend, I feel like it did something to you. That movie hit you different and you knew that everything is a choice. That's what that movie did for me. It taught me that everything is a choice. You got your dynamics, you got your adversity, but you got a choice, right? Because think about it, Josh and Jason had the same exact situation. Jason's was actually worse because he's the one who killed his father, yet he's not making the choices that Josh made. Choice. We don't get to say how things affect us, but we do get to say how we deal with it.
That's a fact. That's a fact. 9, I would say, me personally, I would say 8.5. And the half the reason why I can't go all the way 9 is Tretch's character not being Southern. That
Yes.
bothers me.
Yeah.
And even Allen Payne having certain parts where he's not saying it correctly.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's the only thing that's stopping it from being a 9. Other than that, it's a great movie. I will always love and cherish this movie. It's one of the movies when I was moving and grooving and stuff. So it meant a lot to me at the time. Still means a lot to me now. Unfortunately, it came from a real place with the director. Doug McHenry's daughter's name is Lyric. So that's where the name came from.
Okay.
But she was tragically killed in an accident while pregnant. So it came with some real life tragedy.
Yeah.
But the name Lyric was actually his daughter's name.
Wow.
So that's where it came. That's where it came from. So, Jonez, name of the show was Main Ingredient. So I need you to tell me what is your one main ingredient in Jason's Lyric that made you love it and give it a 9?
Choice. Choice made me love it because everybody had choices. But I think that the ultimate choice was Lyric demanding that he didn't take that path or live that life or try to save somebody. Yeah.
Choice.
Everybody had a choice. Lyric had a choice on what kind of man she chose to date. Unfortunately, he was connected to his brother, but the brother had choices. Then we get to see Jason and Josh. They had the same experiences. Jason's was worse, but Jason made different choices. Ultimately, it gave him a better life. So I just feel like everybody had this moment where they had choices. And it was like you either got to see victory or consequences.
Right. What about the mom, Gloria? Do you think she had a choice?
I do think she had a choice, but not so much just because there wasn't a lot of talk around mental health back then. So I feel like a lot of our people got caught up in that dynamic. But I felt like if she did have that, she still had one though, right? Just because.
Explain.
I feel like, you could see the anger in Josh from when he's young. You could see that anger.
We talked about that.
Yeah, you can see that. You can see the choices he's making all along the way. I think that while he was younger, she could have did something.
Put her arms around him.
She could have hugged him more. She could have just loved on him more, because the only thing that could break that type of anger and hatred is love. Yeah. That's the only thing. So she could have definitely loved on him more when he acted out, not met him with that same type of animosity and aggression, right? Because even as an adult, every time he messed up, she always met it with disappointment, anger. You're this, you're that. She spoke death and not life. Even though, don't get me wrong, she was doing the best she could, right? But again, those tools, she could have been saying, I know you're better than that. I know who I raised. She could have been getting them into positive reinforcement, speaking life. That's so important. Because a lot of times, right, our kid do something that's like, oh, you're just disrespectful. You're da-da-da. That's not who I raised. I know who you are. I know who I've been watching that whole time. And that's not the kind of decisions you make. You don't respond like that. You don't act like that. I know who you are. I want to see something different because I know that you can. So it's a choice to speak life. But again, if you don't have the tools, you don't know. But I'm sure she was going to church. I saw that heavily in there. So somewhere along the line, instead of choosing, right? Because the word says be a doer, right? A lot of us are reading, we're watching, but we're not actually doers. We're lukewarm. We're not on fire. So if the character was actually reading it, she would have knew that every time her son disappointed her, she would have knew not to curse him, but to speak life onto him.
Gotcha.
Right? So I feel like there's that dynamic. And then there's the dynamic of, I know therapy wasn't big back then, but I'm sure she heard of it. And seeing the anger that was in him, that would have terrified me as a mother. I would have been afraid that the kid was going to do something to me in my sleep, anything. Because it was a lot of anger in him. He was like this.
It was a lot.
it was there.
Yeah, it was a
And
lot.
so she could have gotten him some help. She could have loved on him more. She could have spoke life over him much more when he was younger. But I could only imagine that the dynamic of being a single mom, not knowing much about mental health, you know, struggling, having this kid that got this dynamic that also reminds her of a man, the man who put his hands on her, it was probably hard. And most of the time when she looked at Josh, I'm almost certain that she saw Mad Dog.
Saw it, yeah.
Yeah. So it kind of probably put up a barrier in between the more that she could have done in the midst of disappointment.
And you know, a lot of times, and we saw it in this movie, she never had another man. So a lot of times that stops women from moving on because of all that trauma. Even after Mad Dog got killed and the boys grew up, she still was never in another relationship. And you see that in real life a lot.
Yes.
A lot of women never get back in another relationship.
Because they know one more of that will break me. I can't. I got to be solid for these kids.
Yeah, correct.
See, fellas, that's why she mean. Is it connected? So you got to show her
it's
you something different.
Yeah. It's kind of connected because I think that was intentional too in the movie that they never put another man in her life.
I love that though.
To just show like her kids was everything. And now she's dealing with a good kid and a bad kid and nightmares and all this other drama and stuff. And she might have been in the mentality like, I'm not going to bring another person into this.
This is bad. They all got situation. PTSD.
Yeah. So it's like her mentality could have been like, I wouldn't feel right bringing another man into this whose life might be okay. Now he got to come in here and deal with my son who's Josh. Mentally dealing with some stuff. Right. And even my good son still got some, PTSD. So it's like a new man got to deal with all that stuff.
It's a lot of baggage.
That's a lot of baggage. And I feel like she might have been the type of more responsible woman to say, I'm not going to bring nobody in on this.
Facts.
Like I'm not.
Facts. That's why I said, don't think for 2 seconds I got something bad to say about Gloria. It's just not having the tools. You can't do what you don't know.
Yeah. And then they didn't give her no homegirls, no aunties, no mamas. So essentially she was doing this by herself.
Yeah.
Which I think another thing that was intentional. They didn't put any female support, any woman support around her to say, girl, you need to do this. Girl, come over to my house until he get his stuff together. Like she had none of that.
None of it.
2 boys, a job, and Mad Dog. That was literally her whole life.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So that makes sense. Like choices, and even Gloria, they all had choices. They all had choices. And I'm definitely big on choices. Like me growing up in the town, like I had a lot of partners that went to jail, got shot and killed, sold dope, all types. And all this stuff started like when I turned like 12. A lot of my friends started doing whatever they started doing. And I had choices at that point. Thank the Lord for Jonez Ellis. He was not going for it. My pops was like, oh no.
Man, I was just like, you could tell. And I don't know, your pops was just always dope. But I'm like, man, look how supportive he is of his grown son too. I can only imagine how it was when you were little. But it was just like the love, the dynamic. He just impressed me. I was like,
solid dude. And I know, and I always give my dad props because I know how hard it was for men in the 70s and 80s to raise a young son, and even dealing with being in a marriage. So marriages go through their ups and downs too. Right. For him to stay and raise his son is I can't thank him no more than that. Because I knew a lot of dudes whose fathers was like, I'm out.
Yeah.
Me and your mom ain't working out, and I ain't even gonna deal with you no more. And they left, and he stayed.
He gave me the best hot link I ever ate in my whole life. I swear he did. You know it. I talked about that hot link for so long. Like
his barbecue was legendary.
His barbecue was legendary.
I always give him a lot of props. I always give him a lot of props for staying, because I know even now as a grown man in second marriage, I'm on my second marriage. I know how tough marriages can be when you're in the wrong one. And whether you're in the wrong one or the right one, you're going to have ups and downs. And a lot of people leave during the ups and downs. They don't even try to work it out. No. They don't try to go to therapy.
Nothing.
And the fact that him and my mother did have ups and downs like every couple, he stayed.
Yes.
It was never I'm gonna leave.
I'm sorry, that is huge in character and integrity for me because it's so easy to walk away when it's tough.
Extremely easy.
For my husband getting shot, me having brain surgery. That's two things that we both like. Of course, we had our whole life.
Marriages.
Yes.
Those two things could end it all.
Because you think about it, two people going through stuff in their health, where's all the money coming from?
Where's the money coming from?
You know, like, so you add a new dynamic of where it's like, you know, you're running through savings and things like that, but also him having PTSD, me going through what I'm going through, not even knowing what's wrong with me yet, losing my hearing. Like, yeah, you go through those ups and downs and there's these moments, but ultimately, you know, you figure out a way to stick together, whether it's you go get help, you go to the counseling, you listen to your wise elders.
Yeah.
It was a lot of that wise counsel. It was a lot of wise counsel.
And ultimately, you got to stand on love. Like, I love this person. I'm not going to leave them when they're hurting the most. Like,
exactly.
What does that say about your character?
I went to join group therapy.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that I can know how to support somebody who has PTSD.
That's dope. That's dope.
But that was from the instruction and advice of my mom.
Okay.
Go to a group therapy to know how to support him.
Yeah.
And I was like, so what you trying to say? I don't know how to support. But then again, it always go back to what is that what do you call that? Commandment.
Yeah.
What honor thy mother and father. What does honor mean? Some people just give it respect. No, it means their words hold weight. Mm-hmm. It means a lot. So it's like while she's saying that, even if my mom doesn't say things right all the time, but when she says it, even though, oh God, okay. But I'll go take it and I'll say, okay, what is the truth in this? What can I do? But yeah, I went to group therapy to support and help him, took him to because he got shot in his chest. So it went in and out. So he lost a piece of his spleen. They went into areas to do it. And
is it okay to talk about how it all ended with the guy who did it?
So he in March 15th, he got sentenced. So it was all on tape. His wife had a written statement to the police. Like there was witnesses, like the camera was it's the same. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to get you in trouble or anything.
Because there is other things that we're dealing with beyond that. But
my main thing is, did the guy get sentenced?
Yes, he did.
In jail?
He's sentenced and he is under the jail.
That is great.
And he, at the age he did it, so he was 65 when he got sentenced.
Good Lord.
Racist, drunk, entitled. 65. You ruined your whole life. Who
crashes out at 65?
Ruined his whole life. Ruined his whole life. I felt bad for his wife. His kid was his son was like a pastor too. But the saddest part is, as you read all these character witnesses, we going through trial, and he could have been like this. If this is what you guys are able to say after he almost murdered somebody, that just shows that the entitlement came from you guys just allowing him to do whatever he wanted to do. You're enabling him. You're not saying anything. You're allowing him to. You're a pastor. I'm afraid for you to even be a pastor if you're able to write what you just wrote. I don't care if that's your father. You could have wrote it in a way that just made sense. You wrote it like he was this angel. He just almost murdered somebody. He almost destroyed my life, ruined my daughter's education, halted my career. And you're writing about him like he's an angel. No accountability, nothing for what he actually did for no reason. You weren't. You know how some people like poke you or do something for it to come their way? You did this for nothing, bro, because you were mad that you had to pay for your parking.
When you first told me, I said, I know she got to be joking when she said this was about that.
He was entitled.
Like, no way.
I am a VIP. I vote this way and you're probably here because of me. Like, if you just knew the stuff this man was saying.
All on camera.
Piss poor spirit, character, everything.
And he's 65. He probably been moving his whole life that way.
Yeah.
He didn't just start being that way.
That's what I meant by reading these character letters.
He been that way.
Y'all wasn't even like, if y'all know he almost killed somebody, you could have at least even acknowledge that he almost killed someone. They
Please
act like
acknowledge
he
that,
did
yeah.
nothing wrong, that he was just this angel. And it's like, are
This
you
was the
watching?
son and the mother.
Son, wife, friends, pastor, all these people. And it's like, you do know what he did. Did you see the tape? Like, you know what he did. And you don't even bring accountability to what he did.
Right.
One person that wrote him a character letter who was like a distant friend, at least acknowledge what happened to my family. It's like, do you realize that they're reading this in front of us? They're reading this out loud in front of us.
Very
like,
disrespectful.
So disrespectful.
Very disrespectful.
And
like he didn't do nothing.
That's why I told my husband, I just respect you. I love you so much. Like, you did the right thing when you needed to do it. You had to bite down on your ego and your pride as well. And then you had to go through something like that and still be able to heal yourself with me. You'll always have my respect.
That's major.
Like, you have overcome so many obstacles. You could have been anything in them streets. You could have easily been Josh. Easily.
Yeah.
Almost was a few times. You are a dynamic man. You are a king.
It's
choices.
Going back to
the
choices.
Main ingredient.
Yeah, choices. Mm-hmm. Choices is big, and like I said, I have a lot of friends and family who made a lot of wrong choices, and it's sad to see how they play out in the end. But you almost knew where it was going to end off the choices they made. You almost 99% of the time you already know where it's going to end if they keep going that route. It's hard to convince them where it's going to end, but you know it.
I know it. I just
know it. You know it.
Do you know my husband only got one friend?
That's it.
Just one friend that's still alive from when he was younger. There is 2 of them in jail.
Okay.
But everybody else is dead.
Gone.
His one friend who moved to Texas because his mom moved to Texas and he went to Atlanta, to Clark, Atlanta. Then he moved to Texas. But he has a beautiful family, beautiful wife, children, beautiful home, businesses. And it's like all of you guys can have that. You can have it. It's in you. It's literally in your DNA. Stop letting them tell you the opposite. It's in your DNA, what you got access to. But you got to make the choice. You got to believe. You got to hold on to God. Hold on to somebody who believes in you. But you can be Jason if he actually lived and it wasn't the ending that we thought. You can be Jason and Lyric. You do not have to be Josh. Yeah. You do not have to be any of those other people. Yeah. You can have that beautiful life, white picket fence, beautiful house, beautiful wife, money, businesses, everything. Because if you got it to get it in the street, I promise you way smarter than people that's running businesses. You just don't know it yet.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Facts.
So, like Jonez said, choices. I want everybody to think about choices. Mm-hmm. My main ingredient would be the screenplay. I really love how it's written.
Yes.
I really love that they didn't, it wasn't filtered. It was like everything that needed to be said was said.
Yeah.
All the words on the page needed to be said to play the story out the way it played out. Mm-hmm. And I just really like the screenplay. I'm just really a big fan of the screenplay. Yes. It was written really well. Definitely directed well. Mm-hmm. But I would say my main ingredient is the screenplay. And I'm sad to hear that, what happened to Doug McHenry's daughter, Lyric, the real Lyric McHenry. Mm-hmm. But tragedy happens in real life, and it's the way we get through it that makes us stronger and makes us better people. So, rest in peace to Lyric McHenry. And much love and respect to the McHenry family. Mm-hmm. But that movie, Jason's Lyric, is always going to be a special movie. It's always going to be a special movie. It's always. I got about 10 movies that will always mean a lot to me because of the age I was when I saw them.
Yes,
it's like an imprint in my head.
I swear I want to come back and do Poetic Justice.
Yeah, right. That's one of them. This one is another right here. Like it's going to leave an imprint in my head. I can be 100 years old. It's going to mean something to me more than anything else. So
I call it seed planting.
Seed planting.
Right? Because, it show up all throughout your life.
Yeah, all throughout your life. Mm-hmm. So, I agree. So, Jonez, Mrs. Cain.
Yes, Mrs. Lewis.
Mrs. Lewis. I'm sorry. Lewis.
Because, I used my maiden name for a long time.
Yeah.
but
this is Lewis.
It's like it's time to switch it over.
Jonez Lewis, y'all. Jonez Lewis. The married Jonez Lewis.
20 years on mine.
So won't you go ahead and tell the people where they can find you?
Well, you could definitely find me on Facebook, Instagram. My name on those are Jonez Cain, the actress. On Twitter and TikTok, I'm just Jonez Cain. Thank God for a unique name. And make sure you guys keep your eyes open for 17. That's going to be coming out soon. Me and my husband dynamically did that together, and I co-wrote it with Amber Sandifer, because she's married now. So Mrs. Sandifer. And yeah, like 17 is just like Chris said, is real. I call it gritty gospel. Okay. That's what me and Amber, okay. I call her Al. That's what we coined it. We was like, what can we coin this? Because it's so real. It's so authentic. It's so just like these films that we talking about. It's truth.
It's truth.
It's truth. But it's gritty gospel because even though we're not serving or force feeding you God throughout the whole movie, you understand that like the mental health aspect of it, the alignment part of it, just even the faith and speaking over yourself, what alignment looks like on a daily basis. It's like given in the end, but still not in a cheesy way. It's so authentic. It's like us, like how we real, we love God. We don't force feed it, but it's such a part of us is in there. So that's why it had to be in there. Amber's a PK.
Okay.
You know.
PK, shout out to the PK.
Yeah, she a PK. But we experience real life.
Yeah.
We experience real life. So we're not trying to do that. What do they call it? Like cheesy? Like cheesy type of stuff. Like we
corny, like corny like, or something like that.
Or just not real. Okay. Like the characters in our book are going through real dynamics in the entertainment industry. Okay. So basically, I wrote this before Cassie came out with her story, by the way. Let's put that out there. Okay. It just made it so much more valid what I was writing. Yeah, so I took a lot of experiences from women who I knew, who I dealt with, including my own experiences and incorporated into that story. So yeah, that's the best way I could tell you, like if they kind of like sum that up, Cassie's story, like you see one of the main characters having those same exact experience, and there's trafficking, there's SA, there's all of it. Like I said, I wrote it before they start telling the truth. So I think that people will really enjoy it because like I said, it's real gritty. But there's consequences, there's ascension, there's elevation, and there's victory.
Okay. Much love, power, and respect to you and the family. Your husband, give him my best.
I will.
You know, I'm always in y'all corner.
Thank you. We appreciate you.
I'm always in y'all corner.
Really
I want to see y'all win, and I'm glad you're doing such positive work and helping your community, because that's what it's really all about. Us, everybody helping everybody.
That's all it is for me.
That's what it is.
I promise you, Chris, when my motive changed, it was my motive. I just have a motive of service, a motive to help my community grow. That's all I do. That's all I dabble in now.
And doors open up when you get in that mode. I've noticed it myself. Once you get in that mode, everything opens up, and you can't explain why it's opening up or how it's opening up.
And I can't even catch half of it. Like I'm literally producing 5 projects right now and got like movies coming out. I just got offered a lead. I don't know if I could talk about it yet, but I just got offered a lead role on a new series.
That's dope. Okay.
I get to be somebody's wife, I guess. We shall see.
We shall see. Yes. Well, it was great to have you here, Mrs. Lewis, Mrs. Jonez Lewis. You're welcome anytime.
Thank you.
We get another movie, we're going to chop it up about another movie.
Okay.
And you're welcome back anytime. And like I said, give your family my love.
Okay, well, if nobody picks Pretty Women, Poetic Justice, I'll take those. I got a list. I do, because I love movies.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you for having me.
It's all good.
It's all love. It's all family. But I always appreciate you. Thank you for being who you are. Thank you for being super solid. Thank you for a great introduction. Guys, there's not many solid people in this business, but Mr. Chris Ellis is definitely one of those people. The main ingredient on this one is official, is authentic, is right.
Thank you very much. And to y'all, once again, I'm your host, Chris Ellis, and this is The Main Ingredient with Chris Ellis. We'll see you next time. Peace.